$2 in my pocket and a dream in my hand, digging through old purses for some change again. Window shopping like it's therapy, garbage picking for treasures is the life I lead. Wi-Fi is out,
Hello, welcome in everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today we'll be having a special guest. I hope you'll enjoy this topic. If you could take this time to share out this live, that'd be great. We'll be with you shortly. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Who do we got? Hi, Jackie. Hi, Ann. Hi, Robert. Hi, Janelle. Fancy, Natalie, Rosanna, Krista. Good to see you all here. Today we have a special guest on. So today we have Tired Camara. And of course, we have my co host Mary here. So,
Hi,
hello to
everybody.
everybody.
What's
Hi,
up?
everybody. I'm say it all at once. I'll see all of you.
That's right. I mentioned everybody
Hi,
separately.
Camara.
So.
Hi, Mary. How's it going?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. My typical response is always, I could complain, but who give a damn?
Exactly. Oh, I'll put on my camera since I, kind of fixed my hair for you guys. Hey, Nina, how are you?
That's right. Show us all how beautiful you are, Christina.
That's it. That's it. That's what I got. This is what I got today. Um, Today we invited Tired Camara because we're gonna do a kind of like paranormal interview because she's very into the paranormal, and I know
They're
she's
gonna give me
very
the
in
third
tune with.
degree.
I know she's very in tune with her guides, so why not find out why? Because everybody has different experiences, and I so love hearing people's experiences and in how they got into the field or how they became interested in it. So of course Mary and I, yeah, we'll probably ask you some questions, but we'll start with the first easiest question is what was your first experience with the paranormal?
Well, depends on how far back we really want to go, because I remember being 3 years old on the road with my mother and father from Massachusetts heading down to Florida. And at one of the places I stayed, there was a lot of porcelain dolls on a dresser. And I literally watched one of them stand up and walk across the dresser.
Ooh. Well, and at 3 you
Well,
probably
start
didn't
there.
understand what the heck was going on.
Not a clue. Hi, Fancy.
It started young for all of us, so go ahead for most of us anyway. So
Yeah.
go ahead, start there.
Well, that was the basis of it. I saw it was around the Christmas time frame at that point in my life. So of course the little porcelain doll that stood up and started walking across the dresser was a nutcracker.
Oh,
So irony. Um, but there was also one of those old silver dollars sitting on the dresser too, and the face on that started moving. So there's been a lot of instances where I've seen things that I just couldn't explain. And you did the video on my father and the black hole theory.
Yeah,
So
I did. I did a Sinister Sunday where I show I tell you real paranormal experiences from subscribers and people around the internet. And we did do um, Tired Camaras. We did Mary's. I've done two of mine. I've done Danny's. Whoever had a paranormal experience they wanted to share, I put it up there.
spooky
Um,
plug.
yeah. So, um, so obviously you've been seeing things for a while. When was the first time that you said, you really thought like, wait, what the heck is going on here? And started to maybe look into it?
And did you
Uh,
tell your parents or anybody?
well, see, that's the thing. My father grew up heavily believing in the supernatural stuff. So he looked into like Reiki shamans from Native American tribes. He looked into all the books that were back in the 90s written about Wicca and all the other stuff. And so there's also the fact that he kept those books lying around. And as a child, I was born with autism, ADHD. They're both undiagnosed currently, but I am diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. So that kind of was the reason why I was highly curious about all of this stuff, is because I wasn't wired the same. And I knew that from an early age.
So your father, if you would have told him, wouldn't have thought anything of it because he believed in it highly.
Yes. Well, we also have to consider the fact that my grandmother on my father's side was the clairvoyant. She was the future seer, and my father was of the belief that he was a good hexer.
Oh, okay.
And
So there you
so
go. So your family was all into it. What about your mom's side?
my mother was baptized Catholic, so imagine the differences.
Mm.
Um, I love you too, Nina. I'm sorry. Uh, but my mother was Catholic, raised Catholic, baptized Catholic. She tried to have us become baptized as Catholic. And oh my God, was that an experience one time? Oh my Jesus Christ. Down in Florida, when I was spending my growing up
Hi,
years
Scott.
there. Hi, Scott. When I was growing up in Florida, my father's mother came down to stay with us for some time, and she brought me to a Catholic or Christian church. And when we entered into the place, they had an altar with one of the depictions that are in the Bible as the altar. And as I'm passing that altar, I look at it and blood starts running down it in the middle of this church, and I start flipping the hell out. And I looked at my grandma and I said, "Grandma, why is the altar bleeding?" I was only like
Oh no.
9 years old when I saw that too. So
Now, did she see it or was it something that just you saw?
I was the only one that saw it. I was
Okay.
I was the
What was her
only one that
answer?
saw it. She looked at me and said that it's not possible that it's bleeding. So I asked her if it's attached to a water fountain to, make it look like it's wet or getting wet. And they said, no, it's completely dry. And I was like, then why is it bleeding?
Hi,
Sh-
Spirit Stalker.
She would
Hi,
not,
Cassie.
I'm sorry, she would not let me go with her to a church event ever again after that point.
Does she believe in the paranormal or anything? Because Catholics, they're on the fence on that. Some do, some don't.
She's the clairvoyant, so she saw her own son's accident. She could tell you verbatim what happened within her dream that led up to her son in the car
Hi,
accident.
baby.
And while
For some reason, I thought it was your mother that took you, but it was your grandmother that took you to church.
it was my grandmother,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
my mother was not a big church goer, but she also has a very, very severe case of narcissism and victim playing and enjoys the
Mm.
spotlight. So there's a lot behind that.
Yeah. But so she's a clairvoyant. She obviously realized that you had some kind of visions or seeing stuff. And instead of helping you with it at 9, she was like, I'm just not taking you nowhere.
She, oh yeah, the basic epitome of poor white trailer trash living in America, fending for yourself and being raised by wolves.
No, no. Um,
Um, she didn't help me with any of my spiritual awakenings. She didn't help me with understanding any of this. My father was not always of a clear mind to be able to guide me in the way that was necessary for me to understand it in a proper form. Everything that I've learned has been all self-taught.
oh, there you go. Well, sometimes it's better that way. um, because you find your own way. So going back to that, you saw things, you were 9, of course you didn't understand. But what was the point where you said, okay, this is obviously something. I have something special about me that other people can't see or don't know about. So when was that point where you said, okay, I'm going to really hone in on my spirituality?
I think that would have been the time frame when I was 9 years old and I kept having a reoccurring dream. And in this reoccurring dream, it was still set in the state of Florida, but for some reason it was snowing in the middle of Florida, which is not typically possible for that area given how close to the equator it is. Um, but it was snowing on the back porch of my father's mobile home trailer when I was around 9 years old. The house was dead silent, and I walked out onto the porch that my father built, and it was past the sliding glass door. But when I walked out there, I saw boot prints in the snow, but next to them were bloody paw prints. So I looked around trying to figure out what was going on, and then I would hear a noise off to my left. And as I would look, I see this massive wolf that's just drenched in blood jumping from over the fence that separated it from the rest of the yard onto the side of my father's mobile home, running across the wall at me. And just as it lunges with its jaws open, ready to fucking bite my head, pardon my language, sorry, ready to bite my head off, I wake up.
Oh, okay.
I've
And you
also
had that
always felt
dream
things in
for
my dream too.
so how long did you have that dream before it stopped?
I'd have to
Because you
say a
said it was
solid 2
reoccurring.
months. I'd have
Ah,
to say a
I
solid
had
2 months.
I had a reoccurring dream. It started when I was 12, when I went on vacation and I went to this barn. And I wouldn't go into the barn because I told my mother, no, I've been there before and I don't want to go. And my mother said to me, oh, it's just deja vu. Come on. And I'm like, I'm not going. So she went into the barn with my sister. So I never saw the inside of the barn. When we got home from the vacation, I started having this dream where I was seeing through my eyes and I push open the door to the barn and I walk in. And you know how the barns usually have those pillars, in the middle. So
Yeah.
I I see this pillar, and on the pillar is like either engraved some kind of letters or writing of sorts. It's engraved in the wood in one of the pillars, straight ahead, but pretty far. Wasn't one of the first pillars. So I couldn't make out what was written on it. So I said, "Oh, I'm gonna go see what is written on it." So I'm walking, and as I'm walking to this pillar, and just as it kind of gets in my sights where I could kind of maybe make out what it is, there's a big noise behind me, and I spin around and I wake up every single time. That happened from the age of 12 to 19.
I
I had that
I
dream.
I don't know what it is with me, but my reoccurring dreams, either they'll occur in a quick span of like the 2 month time frame, or I will literally have a reoccurring dream where it happens once a month over an extended period of maybe 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
I've had multiple reoccurring dreams, and of course they've, at the time, given my age, were always in like a cartoony, childish aspect. Um, but I think what freaked me out the most, that made me ask the question of what was going on, was why was I always having the same reoccurring dreams? And why could I feel what was happening to me in my dream that was causing me to feel it in reality?
Right.
So that would be about the point when I started going, okay, I need to delve into this a lot harder.
Yeah. So right around that age. And then when did you know, like, okay, I have some kind of gift or I'm able to speak with spirits, my gods,
I um I'd have to say it was during elementary and middle school. I had ended up growing a reputation of every time during the middle of school, I would start chanting that I would wish for it to rain and for the clouds to be as dark and gray as thunderstorm clouds. And I would do that for a solid half hour in the beginning of class. And by the time we were out, it was pouring down rain with those types of dark thunderclouds outside. And I was muttering it, so everybody was hearing me in the classroom going, no, no, because they would get upset that I would sit there and try to get rain to come by.
Oh no. Well, in Florida, doesn't it normally rain every day at a certain time or something?
Well, there's a real problem with the Florida humidity range. Um, so like even if it rains, you could have like Satan's piss raining down on you because it's so hot and humid, and like it's just that yucky rain. But then you've also got times where the humidity is at the right point where you feel like you're underneath a sprinkler in the middle of summertime. So it really depends
Yeah.
but they were
So all
tired
the
of
kids
me
in
doing it
school,
every day.
so all the kids in school didn't like you because every day it rained.
Yep, yep. I
Do you
am
feel
misery
like
from Rudy Gloom.
do you feel like the reoccurring dream was a past life experience? You get that
Um,
vibe with it at all?
no, I take my reoccurring dreams as warnings. My
Right,
reoccurring dreams are always pertaining to something that is going to affect me at a personal level. So I always take them as a warning and a reminder that not all things are as they appear,
right,
which kind of helps me keep an open mind about a lot of things that are pertaining mostly to the general life.
right.
So did you ever find the meaning, let's say, of the wolf dream? You had it for 2 months. Did it ever come to you like, oh, that's what that dream was about? It really wasn't that a like a maybe like a wolf in sheep's clothing was gonna attack me, like a person who,
I
was wearing a wolf t-shirt or something, because sometimes the way our it plays out in our dreams is not exactly, of course, what happens in real life. Usually, if you're depending on who's giving you this vision, I call them visions because if you keep having them, there's usually a reason. So, was there something after that dream had ended that had happened that you attributed it to?
sitting back and thinking about it now, I would have to say that it was a warning about what was going to happen in the future days to come and how it was about my father betraying me in the most unfathomable way.
Okay, so it was a is like a premonition, but and that's how I usually get mine too. Mine are like they play out in like you're in a movie. And then I'm like, but what is the meaning? Like obviously that's not the real meaning, and then you have to really dig deep to find the like real meaning of these visions. Um so now do you still have these kind of reoccurring dreams?
Um, reoccurring, no. It's more of a I've grown up and I haven't fully lost my overactive imagination or the abilities to imagine, but I do not remember my dreams anymore unless they hold a warning.
Right.
And it doesn't always pertain to me. For one instance, when I was around, I'd have to say 16, 17 years old, I was talking to a another teenager that was playing a game over Facebook, and she was going through some hard times, and she wasn't exactly a teenager, like between the ages of 18, 19, just about to hit 20. I consider that a teenager. Um, if it's got teen at the end of the fucking letters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but she was living with her boyfriend at the time, and they're over in Australia. So there's no way that I could explain anything that happened when it happened in my dream, because I went to sleep one night after talking with her and I saw everything that was happening to her. She had already told me that she had a very horrible life. Her parents were neglectful and abusive, this, that, and the other. But when I fell asleep that night, I had a dream where her father kicked in the door to her small, tiny little apartment that she was in at alone and tried to start beating on her. And she had started fighting and fighting, trying to get this dude off of her. And then her boyfriend at the time had come in to save her and got her father off of her because he heard her screaming, which is what I woke up to. Someone screaming.
No.
So I went onto the computer, got onto the game that we were mutually playing, and I asked her, I said, "Are you fucking okay? What the hell happened to you this morning?" She goes, "How did you know that something happened to me?" Again, she's all the way in Australia. We're talking about a different time zone, a different day zone. Like she's either a day ahead or however many hours ahead.
Yeah.
But I saw it and I immediately went to ask her. And so that kind of
Oh.
freaked her and her boyfriend out because I instantly knew as soon as my eyes opened.
And so now that you, of course, are very in tune with the paranormal, do you, besides for like, your own personal reflection and stuff, do you use the paranormal in any way? Like I do crossovers. Mary will give messages and like Boomer gives messages. So um do you use it in any other way other than, like I said, self-reflection with your guides and stuff?
It's an armor and it gets me into a lot of trouble because I will run my mouth with the confidence of a 5-year-old on a sugar high, and I will hit every sour point and button that they have that they think nobody else knows about.
So yeah, so basically for your own self, either reflection or defense, or for yourself, you don't work with them in any other way other than you work with your guide for what the guides are supposed to do.
Well, there's not
Like you
really
don't
a
dabble in like
description.
witchcraft or anything like that, right?
Oh fuck yeah, I do. I'm a kitchen witch. I cook amazing
Oh,
comfort
okay.
food that heals the soul. I try to put my magic out towards everything, everywhere, at all points and times, but I don't know who it reaches, when they reach it, how they reach it, or if they receive it.
Right. Okay, so you do some, and that's what I meant by doing something else. Like, because usually once you get into the paranormal, they'll do something. They'll either use it to give messages, um, from passed on loved ones to someone who needs to hear it, or some people go into, like you said, like some spell work, and it doesn't always have to be really witchy stuff, but like even spell work to like make protection things, because I don't really
Um,
do a lot of witchy stuff, but I will like make protection necklaces with protection oils, and stuff like that, pendulums with some of my love, and I'll send it to people, or people will order things from me to make like pendulums, wands, stuff like that. Um, but I don't dabble in other aspects of that. But I do try to give messages if somebody needs a message, or if someone needs help, I try to help them, and then I do the crossovers to help the spirits, and you know.
well, I'm still in the process of discovery. Um, 34 years old, unconsciously practicing since an early age, so I'm still learning what I already know.
Right.
Um, I meditate a lot. I don't. I talk to spirits, but not in the typical sense. I don't know what it's like for you. I think you said that you're able to hear their voices. For me, I just get images because art, my mind instantly goes to a picture's worth a thousand words.
Yeah. Well,
So
if
it's
they
kind of
show
like getting an
me,
email.
right. I mean, they'll show me like what they look like sometimes, or a certain scenario they'll show me. But when they speak to me, I'll hear them I used to hear their voices. Now, like when I write the messages, like I'll say to them, okay, tell me, the message you want to give, let's say to Tired for your reading last night. I don't hear anything, but the words somehow are in my head and then on the paper. And I just trust that it's right. Now, if something seems off to me, then I'll ask them with like the pendulum or something. But usually pretty much now I just I know they're talking because my eardrum, especially if they get really close, that's why sometimes I'll be like, you're too close, will turn inside of my ear. Like it will feel like somebody put their fingers in my ear and twisted my eardrum. And I'm like, you're too close to me. Um, and when they're talking to themselves and there's a lot of energy, I'll hear like my ears will tingle, or they feel pinched or something. Um,
Can I
so
ask a question?
yeah, yes.
Okay, so here's my question.
Hi,
Would you say,
SFL. One second.
yep,
Hi, SFL. Don't worry about yesterday. I'm glad you're here today. Hello to anybody else we missed coming in. And we have a guest today, Tyra Kamara, if you do not know her. Hi, Kelly. Okay, go ahead.
hi everybody. My question was, do you feel that what happens with you when you are giving the message could be similar or compared to a mild or slight case of possession?
No. Um, only because it's more like um telepathic work. I feel like if I had to describe it, it'd be like telepathic. Like they're putting it into my head what they're thinking.
It
Oh, so
is.
kind of like
Um,
that
It
remote
basically is.
downloading.
yeah, basically.
Sorry,
So
Mary,
I
go
know
ahead.
they're standing on the side of me. I feel their energy. Like someone is basically killing my ear right now, talking my ear off. Um, and if you wait 1 second, uh, right after this, we're gonna do if you're looking to cross over, if you came from somebody, you just right after this, darling. Okay, we're just gonna tell him that. I don't understand what he's saying right now because I kind of have it blocked, but yeah, talking my ear off. But and how I could tell is my eardrum is throbbing in my ear. So if
Yeah, I got
I'm
one doing the
shut
same
off,
thing. It's not throbbing, but it's itching like crazy.
so if I'm shut off, I'll know because they're driving my senses crazy, but I don't hear what they're saying because I'm kind of closed and I'm not focused on what they're saying or what they're doing because I'm in the middle of something, right? You have to sometimes you have to shut it down because if not, I would just talk to spirits all day. It would be unhealthy, right? Like I have to talk to real people too. Not real, they're real, but I mean live people.
And
The
they went to the
living, the
side that they
living.
don't have the earbud in. I guess they figured the other side I wasn't going to hear them because the earbud's in. So,
Oh,
Dear God, I hope they didn't come off of me.
mm,
um,
I don't think it's that. I think they
well,
just want
and it's okay.
they want to
Like
put
a
their
lot
two
of
cents in.
yeah. Well, and Mary sends a lot of people, like Mary's guides bring a lot of people over. A lot of these guides will bring, they know I do crossovers, will bring them. So when they see me on and like, let's say
Right.
SFL came in today, but she wasn't here yesterday, right? So, or Cassie came in today and she wasn't here yesterday. So somebody might have came over because the ones that are here from yesterday, I had 25 know that we're doing a crossover after this, right? So it's definitely someone new who came, was like, hey, I want to cross over, or are you doing
It's
that?
like
Or,
we're their
and
beacon of light, and then we send it from us to them, to her.
Goodness.
yeah, basically,
Now I can do
basically,
crossovers, but I don't because of my energy levels not where it needs to be to do it.
yeah.
But I used to do
Well,
them.
and yeah, and it's, but it's when they see you, like these spirits. Like I remember I was watching the best one, my favorite one is I was watching a taped video of a woman testing out this new, I don't know what it was, like a broom or a swifter or the new thing that was out on Amazon. And she's like, look, let's test it out. And she like moved her bed and she was like sweeping under the bed, moves the bed back, and she's doing all that. And all of a sudden somebody's like, hi. And I'm like, what the hell? And he's like, uh, I came here because, you do crossovers, right? And I'm like, yeah, where did you come from? He's like, that video that you're watching. I'm like, what the fuck were you hiding under her bed? Like, how the hell did you see me? It's a video. It's
He's
not
the mob.
live, you know? I'm like, it's a
He picked
video.
up
It's
her
not live.
energy through because everything's
Basically,
made of
what
energy. He
happened
picked
was,
up her energy.
well, what happened was he left his energy. He was in that room when she filmed it. So his energy was on that video. His energy was left there. When I watched it, he felt my energy and came here. So necessarily doesn't have to be
Well, that's
live.
messed up.
Yeah, exactly, Mary. It doesn't have to be live. It's just like an energy drop. So,
That's awesome. I don't particularly have that capability. I know that I can astral project or at least remote view. Um, I know that I can travel places. If I was to ever put things into the simplest of terms, in comparison of what would best describe my abilities, would be Willow from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
oh, okay. See, now Mary could do that. I only done it once, but remote viewing, I never astral projected. I can't figure out how to do it. But anyway, obviously, it's not one of the things I need to do. um, I can. I've stepped on timelines in a dream and been
You'll
in the
know
wrong
if you ever do it.
place. Yeah, never know. But I did remote view once with a little boy, actually, like literally came here from my friend's house, took my hand and took me into her house. And now she never really leaves her camera on, and when she does have her camera on, it's facing down at her desk because she'll be doing crafts. So never saw her house. And I said in the chat, like, who has like a kitchen island and really light, like maybe white cabinets, and then there's a doorway that goes into like the living room area. And like I remember Kelly at first sent me a picture and she's like, mine. And I'm like, nope. I go, not yours, because it's wood floors. This doesn't have wood floors. And then the girl was like, wait, I think that's me, but it's not an island, it's a table. I said, okay, but it's a table with like it's white and you have white cabinets and there's a door right here that goes into the living room. She's like, yeah, that's my house. I'm like, oh, there's something with the third or fourth drawer in your house that there's something wrong. If you open one of those drawers, maybe you're going to find something. So she goes, okay. A few days later, she goes, I forgot to text you. I opened the drawer with the spices and the red spice. Now, the way she has the spices in the cabinet, it's not like they're just thrown there. They're on the spice rack inside the drawer. And they're all tightly closed. And she goes, they're all neat. I keep it very neat. She goes, the cayenne or something red was open and it was all over the fucking place. And she's like, I had to clean it out. And I'm like, okay. So that was my one and only experience, I guess, with it. But the child took me there, with them, like almost. It was weird. So I call that, I don't know. I guess it's like remote viewing, but I didn't do it by myself. I was with someone who could do it, obviously, a spirit who could do it. So that's the only way I could describe it. But Mary does that all the time, right, Mary?
I can, yeah. Well, I don't do it all the time, but I can do it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, no, you're not
I have
going to
the
do it
energy for it
for
and
no
stuff.
reason. But
Right.
yeah, Mary could do that.
Yeah.
That's
It was funny
I'm
awesome.
when
gonna
I
grab a cigarette.
remember when I
If
first done it. huh,
Take your time.
it just pops up and it happens. First time around, you just boom, I'm somewhere else. So
It's a very jarring experience when you're so set in one mind frame that when it happens the first time, it's almost like a culture shock. My opinion, anyways.
well, I was on a live stream with a few other people, and it just happened. Boom, I was somewhere else. I was sitting there awake, mind you, and I was walking through someplace else, and I know that I was there in a physical form, and I knew it was me. And I explained everything I was looking at, the whole 9 yards.
I have done that a couple of times, but any time that I have done that, it was always when I connected to somebody through the internet. So it was more of like I would use the computer to gather the energy
hi
sources
Pam.
Right.
before then flowing through the Ethernet connection towards their place and just being able to view their room as if I was attached to their camera.
Yeah, I can do it. I can do it offline, online. It doesn't matter.
That's awesome. Welcome back,
I
Christina.
just there has to be a reason for me to do it because I don't. I'm not the wellest person in the world, and my energy level is not great, so I don't do it very often. So, but I can if my energy is up good enough. Um,
Awesome.
and you're young, so I mean, I'm probably a good 30 years older than you, probably. How old you said
How,
you was?
I'm I turned 35 yesterday.
All right, well,
Happy birthday!
we're like in 4 years being 30 years difference between me and you.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I'm 61.
Oh,
I'll be 61 in December, I should say.
well, you sound like a young, vibrant young madam, a
And
mistress of the
I don't,
law.
my mind is not 61, but the rest of me is. The rest of me's 100, but
Oh, trust
But
and believe.
anyway, when I
I
grew up and when I was going through all this, it wasn't talked about. My mom didn't talk about it, even though it come from her side of the family. They didn't talk about it anymore. Not like before, years ago or whatever. Um, they just didn't talk about it, and I grew up knowing that she had this uncanny way of knowing things, and she just would. If she told you not to do something, you didn't do it because there was a reason she was telling you. Most definitely not. Like if she tell you don't go somewhere in particular that day, you didn't go there because there was a reason for it. So I mean, we all of us grew up knowing that she had some kind of intuition or some. We knew she had something, and but we never talked about it. So and back then you didn't talk about it because they put you away. I mean, even in the '90s, they would put you away. You're lucky you had a family that understood it and knew what you was going through and could help you with it. I didn't have that. Boomer didn't have that. Um,
Oh yeah.
his family knew,
Yeah,
but
not
they didn't
even
talk about it.
hi Danny
And
love, and not even me to say like when the first thing that I had told my mother was, of course, that um and she said, "Oh, it's just deja vu." Then I had told my mother about the dream I kept having about
Hi,
the
Danny.
place, and she's like, "Oh, it's just, your mind playing tricks on you." Anything, right? And then I remember telling her something about because then I had these things where one day it would be one color, the next day I'd walk by the building, it'd be a different color or whatever. And so I had told her that, and she's like, you can't tell other people this. You could tell me, but you can't tell other people this. They're gonna put you in the funny farm. Like, so you're like, okay, so, and there was no help. Like, there was nothing to look up. There was no internet. Like, you couldn't go to the library and get a book on this because now
Right.
you're
I mean,
afraid
there
people
just
are gonna
wasn't
put
no,
you in the funny farm. Like, so you're like, well, you know, um, it is
unless
what
your
it is,
family helped you, you didn't know. If somebody who
Mm.
knew what you was going through, you could get help. But I learned everything on my own, literally.
I
Yeah, and I want to
I
say that. Sorry, tired.
You're all right. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that I want to say that my mother had something too, but didn't, want me to elaborate on things because I remember it was my friend's sweet 16, and I had told her I had a bad feeling all day, so bad that I thought my stomach was gonna explode. And I told her I can't go, I'm sick. And she goes, no, if you miss your best friend's sweet 16, you're gonna be upset. And I said, no, I'm not going. Something's wrong. I'm not going. I don't feel well. I don't feel right. My stomach hurts. I tried everything. She dragged me there. Okay. And yeah, and it was horrible. And so obviously that was my intuition, my guides, whatever, telling me don't fucking go there. And when I got home, I told her the next time I tell you I'm not fucking going somewhere. Cause I know it. And she's like, but you can't be telling people that. I said, I didn't tell you that. I told you I was sick. And she's like, okay. like, um, but like, so she just didn't want to, maybe have me say it, or I don't know. But, she would take us, my sister and I, when we were younger. She had an obsession with the cemetery near my house now because I used to live around the corner when we were younger. She used to play in that cemetery when she was younger. And then when we were born and we moved across the street
Hi,
from the
Jen.
cemetery, she would take us over hey Jen, into the cemetery to have picnics. And my sister used to call the cemetery a fair because we would go there so much. She thought and people were like, "What kind of fair or carnival did you take the kids to?" And she's like, "I didn't take them. I took them to the fucking cemetery." And so, yeah, so it was like I know she must have had something too. She just either A, didn't want us kids to have the same stigma or whatever. I can't ask her now because by time I figured out all this stuff, she had passed. And the whole reason why I started to dabble in anything was because she passed. My father had passed, but I had just had my daughter, so I wasn't really with it. Like I had this newborn, I was young, whatever. Um, and then so when my mother passed and the kids were a little older, I started like looking into things. But then we had the internet, and it was a little easier to look up things and not feel like I didn't feel like I was gonna
That's
go to
what
the
I
funny
did.
farm if I looked up, "Hey, can you show me a paranormal show or para ghost hunters?" Or I didn't feel like it was that big of a deal anymore. Um, and so, because she died in 2012, but, um, yeah, so basically, um, I wanted to learn how to talk to her. So I started doing some things, and then out of the blue, my son said to me, "Hey," not my son, technically, my son didn't say it. The school calls me and says, "Hey, your kid is talking to things that aren't there, and we want you to admit him into the hospital." And I said, "Go fuck yourself. I'm not doing that." And they're like, "Well, he can't come back to school." I go, "Then he won't." They said, "Well, call social security." Go ahead. I said, "I'm going to take him to the therapist. I'll take him to a therapist. I'm not admitting him to the hospital. I said, I'll take him to a therapist. And then the therapist will tell me if he really needs the hospital or not, right? So I take him to a child psychologist. Psychologist. I don't even take him to the psychiatrist yet because I said, let me get him evaluated. And so the psychologist says to me, there's nothing wrong with him except that, he's pissed off his parents don't live together or whatever. I go, oh, okay, big deal. I said, so he didn't say anything about seeing things that aren't there or talking to things that aren't there. And he was like, no. So I go, okay. So I take the kid aside. I go, what the hell's going on? Tell me. I can't help you if you don't tell me. And he tells me, sometimes I see these animals and they talk to me, a wolf and a fox and this and that. And I was like, oh, you're seeing ghosts. That's okay. And he's like, there's no such thing as ghosts. I said, there most certainly is. At that point, I was on the fence about it. I believed in paranormal. I believed I can maybe talk to my mother. I didn't believe they were all over the place, like, he was saying, but I wanted him to like snap out of it. So I literally got him a camera from the thrift store. I took my camera and I took him to the most haunted place in Long Island. I'm like, let's go. I'm going to show you the ghosts and you're going to tell me if you see what you see, right? So we go. I'm hearing disembodied voices all over the place, drums, um, Indians. Also, I'm like, Jonathan, are you hearing this? You can even hear it on the video, the drums and like the Indian stuff and all this faintly, but you could hear it. And I heard it clear as day on there, and I tell him, you hearing this? He's like, yeah, but maybe it's somebody playing radio. I go, who the hell's gonna play Indians like that on a radio and those old drums? Like that's craziness, right? So anyway, so we get deeper into the plays. He's hearing growls. I'm hearing a lady talk to me, then a guy. I'm like, are you hearing these voices? He's like, no, I don't hear nobody talking to me. Things are being thrown at us, right? And I'm like, okay, they're throwing stuff at us. And he's like, well, that's one way to say it, but maybe the trees are just letting the foliage go. Like he was 10. I'm half hysterical.
Bigfoot.
He's like, no, none of this shit exists, right? We go home. I play the video for him of what he caught on his camera and what
That's
I
funny.
caught.
She's freaking out, and he's 10 years old, and he's trying to tell
Yeah,
her, "Oh, it's just this,
yeah,
mom, it's that." He's
yeah.
trying to
This is
debunk
just
it
that.
for her.
Meanwhile, once I showed him the video and played it back and whatever, hearing the disembodied voices, seeing stuff actually being thrown at us, he had the camera on his lap and he didn't press stop. And literally, there's a disembodied voice. Why God me? Or why me, God? And then there's rocks being thrown around us. Okay. The same rock jumps like 5 times. Nothing gonna jump like that. If a rock, even if it falls from somewhere, but I don't know where a rock is gonna fall from, it's not gonna fall out of the tree. But if it did, it might bounce once, but it went like crazy all around us. Like he caught this little see-through, I don't know what it was. Well, it was an apparition of a little guy with a happy face and like antlers. But I don't know if the antlers was like a headdress and it was a tiny little Indian chief or what. I was like, what the hell is going on? When I showed him the video, he's like, oh, so all this is just ghosts? Oh, that's okay. He went back to school, never had a problem again. I was freaking hooked. I'm like, nope, they just walk around like this. What's going on? So I had to go, and that's when I went full blown, like, what's going on in the world? I need to know about it. And so that's how I got started, by the way. I'm sure you guys, a lot of you's heard this story plenty of times, but now for whoever didn't, there you go.
It's always nice to have a refresher. Always nice to have a refresher. It's like the lemon tea. Sipping is nice.
Well, they may have heard it, but you got people in here that didn't hear it yet.
That's right. We got some new people. So, yep. Yeah, Nina. But yeah, so he was fine after that. He was just like, oh, it's ghosts. And I never had a problem with him in school or anything. Me, I became a full blown. I'm like, we're doing ghost hunting. You're coming with me. And he's like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, I want to talk to them. More of them, like we did in the place. And he's like, So I would drag him everywhere. And I know a lot of people say we don't do it anymore, but hey, he's 19 now. And I can't walk like that anymore.
Well,
But,
right.
also I'm in New York. So I was telling Fancy, I'm in New York, like in the city part now. You can't go anywhere and just film and
No,
do spirit box. People
them
gonna
city blocks, they ain't no fun.
call
They
the
ain't no fun.
police on you or something. Um, there's only cemeteries, and I think I've been to about everyone. But so yeah, so it's hard to do it here. There's not as many places like Long Island. It's more desolate, so I could go around, and I literally nobody walks. They all drive, so I can walk down a street and I can hear a disembodied voice and take out my camera and start talking to them and stuff. But here, you know,
I
here you have
totally
to be
get
in a
it.
cemetery to do that.
Yeah, I totally get it. That I had one cemetery experience, but I'm super empathic when it comes to emotions and feelings. I feel those the strongest given my disorders and disabilities. Um, so the one time that I did happen to go to a cemetery, I saw all sorts of things, and it wasn't just because I was smoking the green ganja. Okay.
Right.
I
All right, I got a question.
yes.
I gotta ask this because I already disappeared and I won't be able to ask it. Do you feel like the reason why you're like you are is because your disabilities and stuff, or do you feel like you've been gifted with it? That it's been given to you?
I feel that it was given to me in a way to help me work through this world with my disabilities to help me have a better understanding on how to approach things. It is what allowed me to have such an open mind about people, places, cultures, things, ideologies. Just there's so much more that not a lot of us understand. And I've always been a very deep thinker. So
Right.
even when I'm sitting and doing nothing at all I'm doing is just thinking, but it's at a subconscious point that it's the universe and me communicating.
Well, I asked that because when you started this conversation, when you started back on your experiences, you put it off as that it was your because of your disabilities and stuff, and that's what made me think about. Well, I wonder if she thinks it's from her disabilities, or if she feels like it was given a gifted to her, or given to her, from birth or whatever. So that's
I
why
would
I asked the
have to
question.
say I would have to say that it's a mixture of everything. Um, I I understand that you feel that I had people there to help me with this discovery, but the truth of the matter is a lot harsher than I wish to reveal. And so I didn't really have the help. And
Well, I
the
understand.
loony bin
I get
stays
that.
did actually happen for me. And um
I kind of felt that when you was talking about it. I too pick up on people's stuff and their lives and what's happened in their lives, and I kind of knew that before you ever said anything. But I, I what I meant by that about you was more lucky as far as at least somebody knew that you had it. It was somebody that that you was able to verbalize it to, at least whether they helped you or not. You know what I'm saying?
I do
I didn't
understand
have
where
that at
you're
all.
coming
I couldn't
from.
tell anybody anything. You know,
Yep. Hi,
um,
Jackie.
both my parents, they passed away with not even knowing that I was like this, and well, they know now because Christina's had a round with my mom more than once, and Boomer actually brought my dad went to Boomer and come through. Boomer knew my dad's full name. and it's not out there nowhere. My dad passed away in 1980. I was only 16 years old, So I mean, and I hadn't even talked about my dad, on social media or anything. And his name's not even on my Facebook. Wasn't. I don't think it is now either. But
Yeah.
anyway, he just blurted it out. I'm like, holy crap, that's my dad. And it's always still a shock to me. Everything that happens it still hits, even though we know we can do all this. It's still, when it does happen, or if some message comes through for you, you still have that little shock factor. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but anyway,
Oh
It's a
yeah.
culture shock.
And
yeah, kind of like,
yeah,
yeah, it's
and
like,
exactly, because like
yeah,
even yesterday when I was working with Krista after the live stream, and um I just looked at the place, and well, before the live stream when I did her reading, and then I told her what I thought, she was like, "Oh, my medium friend thought the same
hi,
exact
Boomer.
thing." Hey, Boomer.
Hi, Boomer.
And my medium friend thought the same exact thing. So funny you say that. Now her medium friend though saw the place. I never saw the place. I don't know where she lives, what's on the side of her, what's not. So then when I was working after, I'm like, can I see the place? Like, can you give me it on Google Maps? So she sent me it on Google Maps, and I look in the window, and I see all these apparitions and stuff, and I circle all these things for her, and I send them to her, and I go, look, this is who's there. These are all okay. It doesn't matter. There's ghosts everywhere, right? But there's one bad one or whatever, and I'll send somebody to look at what's going on over there. But it always surprises me because I was like, wow, I was on the money, like super on the money, like because sometimes you get things wrong, you don't understand, things get lost in translation. But when it's spot on, and when somebody else felt the same thing, you're always like, oh my gosh, like, yeah. you know,
Right. And it's
uh,
like, because it gives you validation, that okay, this
that's
isn't
true
just
too.
in your head, or I don't care how much you're in this and how far you go in it, you still in the back of your head have this thing like, is this really happening? Is this really, you know, is it really real? Or, I don't know how to explain that, but there's
I
always that
am
little
I
spot in the back of your head that tells you that.
I empathize and understand where you're coming from, Mary. Um, it is basically in similar comparison to instances with me and my husband, and I'm like, does that make sense? Does this sound like it makes sense to you? And it's that needing of reassurance from somebody else to let us know that we're not going absolutely bonkers.
Oh, well, I don't necessarily need reassurance, but it helps. Like whenever somebody validates that they're seeing the same thing you're seeing, or they're hearing the same thing you're hearing, or like when I remote viewed that day, I'm like, the first time I ever done it, I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this. To myself, I'm saying this, and I couldn't believe that it was happening, but it did. And that's not been all that long ago. It's been, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, and
Well, and
it was a new ability for me. I'll put it to you like that.
yeah,
Um,
but and it helped though that who are you with, Sherry, that she was seeing some of the same stuff. So then exactly,
yeah,
because it was
Sherry,
brand new for
yeah,
you, um you got validation that that actually was going on because she could see it
yeah,
too, and that's
right.
it's always
I'd say something about
it's
something on there, and then she'd say something about something that I was looking at. So I knew
yeah,
that she was there too, same as me. And it was just a validation, that what was going on. And
yeah,
I didn't know at the time. It's something I hadn't dealt with, or even looked up online or anything like that, because it was nothing that I thought that I had done in the past. But if I think about it, I think I have done it in the past. I just didn't realize I was doing it, or I
Right.
didn't know there was a name for it, or whatever. But I know there is now, and I know what it is and how to do it. And yeah,
Well, right. Well, that's another thing. Sometimes you could do things, but if you're by yourself, you don't know what's going on. You don't know if it's
right,
spirits showing you that, if you're
right.
daydreaming, if you're, so yeah, of course. So you don't know.
Well, I literally went to
Um,
Danny with it. I'm like, Danny, what am I doing?
you're
And then he
leaving
told
us
me,
already, Boomer. Much love to you.
bye,
Bye,
Boomer.
Boomer.
Um,
Um, go ahead, Mary.
if anybody doesn't know, Boomer is very in tune. Like, yeah, he's been doing it all his life too. So, but go ahead.
You were talking, so I was waiting for
Oh,
you.
I'm done. I mean, I just saying,
All right.
that it's good. It's not that I need the validation. It's that I like it when I do get it. I put
Right.
it like that.
Well, that's what it is. Like you said, because you don't know if everything you hear is spot on or not, or if you have it a little
Right,
wrong.
right.
So when someone else has the, oh well, I mean, I didn't know she had a medium friend who saw the same thing. Hey, Maria, that I did. She never told me, hey, my friend said the next door neighbors is haunted on the right side. No, so I didn't know. And I'm like, hey, on the right side of the neighbors to your right, they got some shit going on. And she's like, holy crap, my medium friend
Hi,
said the
Maria.
same thing.
Hi, Kim.
So um, I was like, well, she's right. I guess because both of us are saying it. Um,
Can
so
can
I'm
you
sure
do
that will give
that?
her medium friend validation too, because um she's gonna be like, see, someone else said the same thing.
Right, right. Do you pick up? This is for tired. Do you like when you're going down the road, walking down the road, whatever? Do you pick up on spirits in buildings? Like, do you know this place is haunted or this one's haunted, or like, do you like when you rent a place, or you buy a place? Do you go by the feeling you get when you go there and all that?
It's really hard to describe what happens in scenarios like that for me. With the disorders I have, unfortunately, two of them describe those exact same things that you've iterated in a feeling for a question. And to put it simply, I sense everything at all points. And 9 times out of 10, I can't tell if it's my own self perceived projections or if it's actually happening. Does that
Okay,
help?
so basically you're in tune to the energy around you. Period.
Yes.
Okay. I mean that's understandable. There is people that's like that. I mean, that's able to be in tune with everything.
I
I
can
can't say that
also,
I am probably 90% of everything. But there's still some stuff that I'm not. Either that or I block it out. I probably block it out because, like I said, my energy's not up, and I try not to pull energy from other people. Um, so and spirits have a tendency to use my energy way too much sometimes. So I haven't been doing any work in it like it's so much, but I have some. I've had more lately than I have in a while. So, but I get what you're saying. Like you're in tune to everything around you. Like I get it. So do
remote
you pick up
downloading
energy?
also happens at random intervals too.
Right. right. I mean, you get, yeah, I know what you're saying. Uh, so do you pick up on people too, like, and their everything about them too? Like, say you're sitting in a
Um,
room, say you're sitting in a
Like
church
an
or a bar or
empathic
anything
kind of
like that.
thing.
I am highly empathic. I the best way to say this is descriptive. So imagine before you're born that you are asked a question by a genie to grant you one singular wish, but the singular wish is narrowed down to two options. Within these two options, you either A, can choose to have a very good young life and experience a very harsh older reality, or you can experience a harsh younger life and then experience the good older reality. And depending on whichever side of the coin you decide to pick, gives you basically a roulette wheel of intense possible outcomes of said course of actions. And when I said that I wanted to have the hard younger life and the easy older life option, I did not expect my genie to take it as a very cruel ass joke and decide to give me 7 lifetimes of trauma in one life. So it's very hard to answer your question, if that helps
See?
any.
uh, M- Mary, you're on mute just in case you didn't realize. Oh, maybe she had a call or something. Okay. Um, Thank you guys, by the way, for all hanging out, listening, hitting the like, and talking amongst each other, and listening to temporary bye. Are you heading out for um and listening to our guest tell her experience. Now, guys, in the chat, if you have any questions for Tired, put them in now, and I'll s- see if she can answer them for you guys.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, while we're looking at the
Yeah,
chat,
there questions for her or for in general or whatever, whoever you want to ask something of.
While
But
we're
yes,
waiting
Yeah,
for them
yes,
to
we would like you guys to ask her.
yeah,
while we're waiting for them to ask me questions,
yes.
I have a couple, if you wouldn't mind
Sure.
answering them. Um, the first question I would like to ask, Christina, will go first with you, and then Mary will go over to you. Has there been an experience that has greatly impacted your life while dealing with the spirits? It can be either good or bad.
Yeah. Well, probably the biggest impact was that I went to a thrift store. Easiest way to put it. I went to a thrift store because I was watching all these videos and people had all these haunted items. And I'm like, does that stuff really happen? So I went to a thrift store and I walked through this thrift store and I was like, how would I even know if something, and this is when I first started, basically right after almost our first investigation that I had with my son and realized all this stuff was going on. Um, so I just started like feeling things. And this one gave me all tingles and shit. So I'm like, I'm gonna take this doll home with me, because I don't know, she made my hands tingle. Maybe it's something, right? Took the doll home. And that doll had an attachment. Her name was Beth. And Beth taught me how to, she wanted to cross over because I was like, I don't want you to stay stuck in this doll and have like everybody else does, like let's do a live stream with the doll and see if it moves. I don't like that. I don't have spirits perform tricks for me. I'll ask them sometimes, can you light up this or that? But as a favor, not like, do it and, or, um, not sometimes it's only for myself too, not to video or anything, just so I know they were here in the beginning. Now I don't, because now they talk, so I don't have. At first I couldn't hear them, right? So but anyway, so I was like, okay, you want to cross over? Then and I was doing spirit box, so that's how I would understand what they're saying. And I was like, okay, I'm going to end pendulum. So I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna find a medium, okay? And they're like, no. I'm like, because I asked them on the pendulum. I'm like, what do you mean no? A medium can cross people, can't they? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna find a medium. So I start going through every medium, big ones that have books and stuff like that, because I'm like, they must be real people, right? They got shows, they got books, and what I'm like, this one, they're like, no, fake. I'm like, this one, no, they don't cross over spirits. I'm like, what the fuck you mean? They're mediums. And they're like, not everybody does that. And I'm like, well, how who's gonna cross you then? Do you know somebody? And they're like, you. And I'm like, no, I don't know how to do that. And they're like, no, we'll teach you. I'm like, do I have to read the Bible? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, okay. I have to learn how to meditate or something, because I'm not good with that either. Anyway, lo and behold, took a while, but they taught me how to cross them over. And then I've been doing that for like, geez, almost 6 years. I took a year break because I was attacked by a bad angel, but that's a story for another day. But that had the biggest impact on me was her teaching me how to cross over spirits, because now it's like my job. Like
I remember
well,
the
I
first
take it
time
like
she was online and done it. I
yep.
was in her chat. I don't know if
Mhm.
I was in a chat or on the panel with her, but I know I was there. Um,
Yep. I
and
think it was you, Benny, Tammy,
yeah,
Bertie's rock fan.
yeah,
Um, you guys all helped me because it was my first time and I wasn't sure how it would
yeah.
go, but I wanted to help them.
And I was picking up the dolls and the people that was attached to the dolls.
Yep.
Remember?
So-
It was
Yep,
Beth. She
because
was
I
the
had
one
a
that
whole
picked.
bunch.
Yeah, yeah. And I was telling you this one, I knew which one
Yep.
had what. And yeah, I remember that.
Hmm. Yeah, so I think that had the biggest impact, because now, like for years, four times at least for the last 2 years, I've been doing it religiously, crossing over people. I've crossed over more than 1.5 million people. So I consider it like almost like an honor, almost. I don't know how to explain it, that people come here to me, and my sister's always like, I remember my sister goes to me, why don't you help the living people? I'm like, because there's enough people helping living people. How many people help dead people? Like,
There's not as many
like I
people
was
helping
like,
the living as you would think, and honestly, the dead are a lot easier to work with. If you see the Grim Reaper, please give him a hug for me.
well, funny enough, like I was like, oh, well, because I couldn't understand at first too, why there wasn't like these reapers all over that cross people. And so there is some entities, and they're, I guess, like angels. They were never human, but they're special entities that just do crossings. And they call them the crossroad. There's crossroad ones that just go by and pick you up and cross you, and then there's they're called crossroad spirits, and then there's cemetery gatekeepers, which will travel to the cemeteries and cross people at the cemeteries, like. And so but a lot of human spirits don't want to cross with these entities because
They're
they're
scary as
afraid.
fuck to look at.
They don't know, they don't understand or whatever, especially the kids. So yeah, they come here, I give them coffee, snack, and talk to them, sometimes play music, and then I cross them over. And it's nicer. Plus, I don't force anybody. So if they're not ready, I'm like, okay, if you're not ready, you can hang out in the yard, talk to the other spirits, neighbors, ghosts, and I do this, at least 4 times a week. So when you're ready, I don't force anybody. The other ones, they just take you. They don't give a crap.
The fuck they
So
don't.
you
I'm
know,
sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah, like they don't like the crossroad ones. They don't. They have a list of who's still hanging out, and they go and they pick them up, and whether you want to cross or not, they cross you. And a lot of people don't like that, because if you're not ready, you're not ready.
If we
It
could
is
get
what
on
it is.
to this topic for a second, I have something to say about that because I don't remember if I had mentioned earlier that I did have a cemetery experience. I empathize with the children that come to you. Those fuckers that just come and pick you up are scary as fucking hell. They basically look like the biblical depiction of the angels that come to, like, that randomly just come to earth every now and then. And the biblical depiction of angels make them look like beasts with just eyes. So there's that. I went to a
Oh yeah,
cemetery at
so those gatekeepers, they're scary. Yeah. So of course people don't want to go. What would you like? You'd be scared, right?
fuck
So I
no,
think that's
pardon
why.
my language.
Hmm. You're okay. Go ahead.
No, I would not want to be picked up by one of those things. Like I said, my experience at the cemetery was I had seen it coming towards me and my then boyfriend at the time. And so after that, I was sitting on a tombstone. Of course, I have this big ass thing of where, I ask to sit on them before I actually sit on them.
Right.
And like I got permission to sit on their tomb or sit on their, mausoleum, whatever it is. And so I did, but when I sat on it and my hand connected with the cement, I heard, "You can't stay here long. They'll come for you, assuming you're dead."
Oh no.
Yeah, so they literally do not give a fuck if you're sitting in a cemetery. If you stay there for an extended amount of time, they will literally assume you're part of them waiting.
Yeah. Waiting. Yeah. Hmm.
So,
Interesting. Yeah, so you don't want to, right, Nina. So you don't want to, so that's why a lot of them won't cross with like the crossroad spirits or the cemetery gatekeepers because they're like, scared. As people, you still have that thought like, oh my God. So most of the time they just come here and they hang out. If they're ready to go, I cross them. Most of the people who come are ready to go unless they're like younger spirits. Some of them are older people and they're like, no, I want to wait for my loved ones. And then I say, okay, go hang out at the Grove because I always feel weird having a whole bunch of older people here when I have all young children. So I go, no, stay at the Grove. There's older people at the Grove. You can talk and whatever. You can come for coffee once in a while with the deities come to get coffee and whatever. I said, but stay over there. There's more people your age. So I got a whole little community over there. Danny sometimes goes, oh, Christina, like the Grove is full, man. I'm like, yeah.
when
That's
you
all
gonna clean some of it out?
the older ones from, well, when they're ready, they can just literally walk through the Grove and cross, unless they're shady people, then they have to come back here and cross. But those older people from the nursing home, because I go visit my grandmother, I get a lot from the nursing home. They just hang out there and flirt with each other. That's what they do over there at the Grove.
Silver foxes ain't got nothing on
Yeah,
spirits.
that's what they do. So, yeah. Okay, now, sorry, Mary, overtalked. Now it's your turn to answer her question.
Do you need me to repeat the question for you, Mary?
Yeah, you
Uh,
gotta.
well, she wanted to know what experience I had
Yeah, that changed you. Yeah.
kept me in it or that shocked me.
Yeah, that
What?
impacted you in a way that was either good or bad.
Um, I would say probably the little demon I seen at 5 years old. And yes, he was a demon, and yes, I seen him throughout my life. The last time I seen him, I was 30 years old. He kind of grew up with me. As I grew, he grew. Um, I know most people don't see demons, or they don't, they're not common, and they're not. But this particular one, he really thought that he could get me, and that I would basically go to the dark side, I guess. Um, uh, because
I'm
that's when I
sorry, a little
started.
comical break here. You have an Emperor Palpatine standing in the corner of your room every time that comes and visit you?
Uh, no, he is not here. You talking about the demon guy, the
Yeah,
little demon guy?
you said that he's told you that you're going to come to the dark side. Isn't that what
No, I
Emperor
said he was trying
Palpatine?
to get me. No, he was
Oh,
trying to get me to go to the dark side, I believe, or to go that way in life. I would say, because he kept telling me I'm going to get you, and I said you're never going to get me. I told him that at 5 years old, and I told him that at 30 years old. And at 30 years old, I told him, I said, look, I said, it's me or you. And I said, I can tell you right now, you're not going to win this battle. And we had a little heart to heart, and I have not seen him since. And I don't play well with others when it comes to that. When it comes to the dark side of it, I can get very nasty and very temperamental with them, but I don't have the problem. I don't have that problem. I don't run across them, and they may seek me out, but they can only get so close to me. There's like I have a major barrier around me, and I have had since then, since I was 30. Well, actually before that, but since I was 30, it definitely I've not. He's not even shown his face or anything. So when I say he grew up with me, he was small when I was small. Then I seen him at I was 10 or 11. I seen him again, and then he was about the height I was for a 10 or 11 year old, and then he went from that to when I was grown, he was grown. Uh, basically grew up with me. So um, I met Christina was talking to that was brought it up on Boomer's Live the other night. I went and watched Boomer's the replay for it. But anyway, yeah, it's they don't. That's what she was talking about on there. I think it was one at Christine about how they're not common and that we don't normally deal with
Yeah,
them.
no, they usually have how could I explain it? Easiest way. There's like a president of demons, right? Let's call it that. A
Right,
king, a queen, whatever. There's a
right.
head
It goes on down the line. Right,
royalty of demons, okay? And then there's classes, just like humans. And basically, the king kind of tells them what their job is, or the president or the queen, whatever, tells them what their job is, and that's what they have to do. Um, Usually, it doesn't involve people unless you summon them or you've done something crazy. Um, Otherwise,
right,
it's mostly spirits that they interact with. Okay. Um, so but if you get in their way or you summon them or something,
or if you're going to
then
be
yeah,
something that they don't
or if
want
you
to deal with in life as you grow up. Apparently, I am.
well
They come after me
that
at a
too
young
that
age.
it but that one could have been a minion. I call them minions.
Right.
Those are the lowest of
Right.
the low, and they, um, just like they're not supposed to have free will, but they can stray from their jobs for
Right.
whatever reason. Somebody in your family annoyed them, and they were like, "I'm gonna pick on the kid." I don't fucking know.
I my my
Um, you know,
my feeling is that because he made the comment about we don't need you in this world or something like that at one point, and they didn't. The problem with that is when he said that, I feel like that they come after me because of my abilities and what I was going to be capable of doing,
right,
and they did. They tried to get me at a young age, so it would try to get
right,
me at a young age so they wouldn't have to deal with me when I got grown. That's
right.
and they found out real quick that I don't play well with them.
Yeah. But and I think everybody and Tired, you let me know if this ever happened to you. I think they always something is sent to people like us to kind of keep us down and
Right.
not help the spirit world. Like I feel like the bad spirits or bad things want to be like running these because they can't really do too much to the living, but they can do bad things. These bad spirits can do bad things to the good spirits. And so by us helping the spirits um in any capacity, especially like me crossing them, it becomes like you're like their enemy. So see, you had a demon from very very young come. I had, like I was telling Tired before, I had a fallen angel who told me he was a bad angel. He came to attack me. He literally attacked me for 2 hours with like it felt like he was taking a lightning bolt and stabbing me in the back with it for 2 hours.
Yeah, I remember being in
And
chat on that one.
I didn't want to give him or whoever it was because at that point I wasn't sure what the fuck was going on. I wasn't sure if it was the bad angel because I had talked to him because he had told me he doesn't want me getting involved with the spirits, but I didn't realize it was him attacking me until later. I thought it was somebody spiritually attacking me, somebody in the chat or on the panel that I was on or whatever. So I didn't realize at first what the frig was going on, but I was like, I'm not giving this person the satisfaction of what, no matter what it is, of me giving up. Like, so for 2 hours, I sat there trying to just go along the live stream. And while this thing was attacking me, and after I stopped for like a year, because I was so like taken aback by all that, literally thought I was gonna die. I was so taken aback by all of that that for a year I stopped doing crossovers. But then like I came across these few little kids and whatever that wanted to be crossed. I'm like, I can't leave them here. And so I started up again and now I never stopped. But now I also got some more help, from the spirit world, um, protection wise, so that these bad angels and other weird things can't come and attack me.
I don't
So
think
yeah.
it's just because of the. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I
Go
don't
ahead.
think
No,
it's
I'm
just
finished.
because of the need because of the spirits world. I think it's because we help people also that's dealing with uh, stuff from the spirit world or dealing with um, a darker side of it, or that they get this. It's not a demon. It's put out there way too
That's true.
much that they're demons, but they can be bad spirits.
Oh yeah,
And
twisted humans.
and
Twisted
right,
humans
twisted
are
humans.
worse than demons, and you will come across them more. And if you don't know what a
Right,
twisted human is, it's basically, for the people in chat, a spirit who's been here so long that they lost their humanity. So because of that, they're like nuts, and they have free will, and they're freaking nuts, and they've basically gone insane. So imagine a spirit who's literally insane, doesn't know what, like, just like, those are the worst. And
There's
those,
that, and there's ones that's just bad. Period. They were bad in life or
yeah,
bad
and there's ones that are
afterwards.
bad, but those are the worst of the bad. Like,
Right, right.
yeah,
But
there's
what I'm
other
saying
ones,
is
just
like,
vengeful spirits that will attack you for no reason and stuff. But I agree with you, Mary. Like, I think that, yeah, because we do
because we're
help
light
if
workers,
someone,
that they see
if
our,
someone
they know we're
asks,
light workers.
yeah,
Our light shines. We're like a beacon to the spirit world, and by the color of your beacon is how they tell. Basically, like ours is, Christina's is white, mine's white. I mean, it might turn a little gray every once in a while because my energy is not great, but uh, it's never went dark side. You know what I mean? And
yeah, yeah,
so in that I would say, to answer your question, Kamara, that that's what started everything, and that was kind of um, set the motion on how I was going to go, in life. And um, but I would say probably when I was 16, there was another instance, that the one that Christina done a video about. I would say that was probably one of them that influenced me too quite a bit. So, but yeah, I
yeah.
mean, did I answer it
You did.
for you?
You did. I appreciate the answer. Um, chat. I haven't seen any questions for
I
me.
I didn't see any questions, but I did have that question for you. That was, did you ever come across something that was trying to get you to, um,
Go to the dark
like the
side.
angel did to me and the devil did to her, or even just to stop talking to spirits or whatever? And this another spirit wise, of course.
I have how do I fucking put this without revealing too much about my past because of how freaking dark it is? Um, let's see. 15, I had a vision, a dream, that consisted of basically the years of my life that I'm living in now. Um, so when I had that dream and then I saw the deaths of people I at the time didn't want to leave me, it caused me to shut it off. Which is kind of, Christina, why you when we first started our readings together, or like where you read me and stuff, why Cassie was the
Mhm.
first one to come up to you and ask, you started talking to you know who, why'd you stop? That was that point in time. um I Afterwards, when I reopened the connection that I had shut off, it was because I had such a profound, impactful, helpful moment from a deity that doesn't ever show kindness.
Oh,
So from that time frame, I've always been of the mind frame that not all demons are bad, not all evil entities are evil, that there are certain circumstances that pushes an entity to being at that point. And it's like with humans, since demons most represent human figures in most biblical texts, I feel that they can be just as misunderstood, not fully demonic, and can still have a bit of morality left in them that allows them what to us is a profound miracle, but to them is one act of kindness that they ever do in like an eternity.
Yeah. Well, I I don't know about demons because they were never humans, so I don't know if they had any humanity, but to give any. But I do know that there is a lot of spirits like death and where people are like, "Oh my God, it's death." Yeah, death doesn't kill you. He's just doing a job. Like, it's his job. And um he doesn't have any feelings. He's neutral, you know? Um, so, but he can, he has helped people who has had near death experiences find their way back and stuff like that. He doesn't have to do that. He's, like I said, neutral. He couldn't care less one way or the other, but he will do it just to do it. It's not like, it's because, oh no, you don't belong here. And even though, like you said, to us, it's like a miracle, to him it was like whatever. you know. So I can understand where you're coming from. Yeah.
The reason why I say that for us it's a miracle, for him it's like a pissant, whatever, a
Yeah.
fucking Atlas shrug, whatever, fucking sort of thing in the world, is the fact that it's still profound because he did it when he didn't have to.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they're, and but also, like I said, that doesn't mean like inherently all these things are bad. Some of them are neutral and couldn't care less about what's going on because that's not their job. And I try to explain to people, some beings, they have a job, has nothing to do with us. So, you think, oh, he's bad because he didn't, I don't know, help you, or he didn't stop, or he didn't talk to you, or he looks scary. Doesn't give a shit about what you're doing, what you see, anything. He's not there about you. He has a job, has nothing to do with our their job has to do with on the other side of the veil. You just happen to see him, couldn't give a crap less what we're doing, because we're not their priority until we become spirits, right? Their work is in the spirit realm, a lot of them. So, you know, uh, so sometimes when they're like, "Oh, that thing was bad," I'm like, No, he wasn't. Why? Did he do something to you?" "Well, he was this big black." "I don't give a shit what he looked like. He was just passing through. It had nothing to do with you." He didn't talk to you. He didn't touch you. He walked by. That doesn't make him bad, you know.
I totally
Because a
get where
lot,
you're
a lot
coming
of people
from.
say, yeah, a lot of people say like that the elementals are bad. It drives me crazy. My protector is an elemental. They're not bad. They just do not interact with humans they unless basically you're interacting with the spirits and like that's what I'm saying about after I was attacked. Then after I was attacked, that's when I started seeing the protector. He's a wood elemental, and I didn't see him before, that stuff like, so he came to help because he knew I was trying to help the spirits. And he knew that kind of put a damper on what I was doing because, of course, I was attacked. I was scared, whatever. Um, but once I started doing it again, and he was like, "No, I'm going to stay and I'm going to protect, what's going on." Um, I wasn't like I wasn't as scared as to help the spirits and everything because I knew I had help. Um, but if I wasn't doing it anymore and was just like, no, fuck it, he wouldn't be here because he couldn't care less. They only help if they're, if you're doing something in the spirit world that's really helping the spirits and that's their job, or really helping nature and that's what they do. They spirit work and nature. So if you're helping in that, they'll help you to help with that because that's their job. Otherwise, they don't have no, they couldn't care less what humans are doing, you know?
Right. Um, to the helping with nature, I don't know if this would make much sense, but I do work with that. Because I have ADHD, there are moments where I contract what I call the equivalent of the dog zoomies. So I will be hyperactive for the longest time I've gone so far is 2 hours straight of doing everything around the house and not sitting down. Um, so I kind of, whenever I have moments like that, just go outside and try to give the energy back to Earth in an attempt to replenish it, if that helps make any sense. I can read
Yeah.
tarot cards, but I don't trust myself enough to not forewarn people, hey, this is just my interpretation of what I'm seeing in your cards. It's what you interpret out of my interpretation that's going to help you figure out your bullshit.
Well, and you see how I do my readings. When I get the message, I go, okay, does that mean something to you? Because most of the time they talk like it's kind of what's the word? Cryptic. Because it's kind of not my business or the chat's business. It's the person who they're giving the message to. So I'm like, I hope that makes sense to you because it's for you, or it's for you to figure out, because I don't exactly know. I can kind of say what I felt if you ask, but most of the time people go, no, that makes sense. I understand, like, and I'm like, oh, good. I'm glad you understand, you know.
Well, they know
Totally
what's going on in their
understand.
life, and it's not for us to understand it anyway.
Um,
Not really.
may I ask for a quick timeout? I need to go use the facilities and would
Oh,
like
of
to have a
course.
cigarette really quick.
Sure, honey.
All right,
Yep.
thank you very much. I'm sorry.
Yeah, hey, shoot, an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, gotta go. You gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
hmm So just to remind
Uh,
you, while Tired took her time out, tomorrow, Friday night spooky story is based on our friend 007 Kevin in the chat. The story will be about him. It's gonna be on 7 p.m.
this is
Eastern Standard
nonfiction
Time.
or fiction.
It's fiction.
Okay.
Friday night scary stories or fiction stories. Only Sundays the
Okay.
real paranormal stories.
All
Unless
right.
I say it's like urban legend or something, but I'll tell you if that. But those are for Sunday.
Right.
Friday night are spooky stories I make up. Last week I made up a story about Boomer's little story about his Momo word. So that was a good
Yeah.
story. And this week is about Kevin. This week is about Kevin, so definitely don't forget to check out that video. Tomorrow,
Speaking of
7
boomers,
p.m. Eastern.
when you guys
Yeah.
did that live, when you was talking to me about, I was talking about my little demon guy.
Yeah.
That was a good discussion that night. I
Yeah.
rewatched the whole thing. Well, all up until till it just went off onto something else. But
Yeah.
it was
Until
a
we went
really
off the rails and like we normally do, talk
well, yeah. But
bullshit.
it took a long time to go off the rails. I mean, it was a really good discussion night. I will say,
You're making a dress fancy? I,
like we're
Fancy's
having
making,
tonight, basically.
yeah, Fancy's making, Fancy, are you making me a cape? The spirits kept telling Fancy to make me a cape, and she's like, "Is there a reason why you need a cape?" I go, "I have no idea." Obviously, there is because I don't know. Maybe who knows? Maybe I'm gonna be a superhero. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited because maybe I'm gonna be a superhero and I don't know it.
For
Yes,
Christmas.
for Christmas. Okay. I was hoping maybe for Halloween, but okay.
Well,
I'll
I
be
mean,
ready.
that when they say cape with you, they may mean that you need, something to cover your shoulders when you're out walking or something, maybe, or something to that effect. You know what I mean? A
Yeah,
poncho
listen,
or
I like
something,
the
or a
idea
poncho
that
or a cape
I like
or
the idea. Yeah, I like the idea maybe that I'm gonna be a superhero, Mary.
yeah, I agree with that. I mean, to them you are. To them you are.
I'm
You're
just
like a superhero to them. To the
maybe.
spirit world.
Maybe that's why. Maybe I'm like a superhero to the spirit world, and that's why I need one. Yeah, fancy. That's what I was
Right,
saying.
Fancy. That's yeah.
That's what Mary was saying. Yeah, maybe because I'm the superhero to them. Although I always call uh, I call Sarah and I the queens of crossovers.
Right.
We crossed over so many. I go, we need a name for ourselves. I go in them. We're gonna call ourselves the queens of the crossover. Uh,
These are the crossover, and you could be a part of Tired's collective of misfits.
there you go. See, that needs to be a character somewhere.
Oh, don't
Some
give me that
Chinese
option. I'm a
company.
writer. I am a writer.
Some
I will wiggle it.
I was just I was just gonna say some Chinese company has to make me some kind of action figure in a blind box.
In a
I have to get
blind
my
box.
I have to get my mindset on misfits different because there was a group of people that called themselves the misfits. That yeah, they don't call themselves that now, but
Oh,
we won't go there.
If I could spell mis
Yep.
ooh,
Do what now?
we lost we lost your audio. Tired.
Yeah, our
Uh
headset
oh.
might have died or something. I don't
that's
know.
me. It's my problem. I'm
Oh.
outside smoking a cigarette. I apologize.
Oh. Okay. So she lost internet for a second. That's okay. I'm learning
Yeah.
more, understand them, and Queen, my Wolfie Queenie, okay, Queenie, helps me make sure I'm getting the info right. Good, Kim. See that? I told you, like, listen, it took me a year to like really fully understand, like, to be able to write messages. Because when I first started doing cards, I couldn't write you a message. I might have got a feeling and been like, oh, maybe this, but now I literally can write you a book, if you need to.
Hi,
Hey, Tina
Tina.
sis, I hope you're well. And give my
Good to see you.
give my favorite nephew a hug. I haven't seen him. Yes. Although I think he may have dropped someone off to cross one day, but I didn't see him personally.
Oh, I thought you meant real in real life. Well, in real
No,
life,
not
If
in
you
you
real
hear
know.
life.
cicadas, I'm
My
sorry.
my That's okay, hon. My nephew, my wolf nephew.
Right. I get what you're saying now.
All right, I'm heading inside now. I am so sorry about this.
It's all
No, don't
right.
worry about it.
Um, okay, when I get back to my computer, I'll be able to see if anybody wrote any questions. And I can
Yeah.
get to
Not
my
yet. We've
list.
been looking.
Ah, if you can't tell, I'm highly
Oh, there
nervous.
you go. There you go. Well, if there's someone, Tina, a little frisky and they can't go through the grove, then they'll bring them here. I say not frisky. If they're a little shady, I'll just call it shady. If they're a little shady and they can't go through the grove, then they come here. Yeah, he would drop them here. Be like, oh, this one can't go through the grove. Here you go. Yes. So I think I did see him once, but before when you used to come in, I used to see him all the time. He used to say hello. I know you've been busy moving. Mhm.
Okay, so since I'm not one for stale air, I will ask another question. Um,
Good.
has there ever been a time where you've connected with a spirit that has affected you so strongly with the story that they've had or they've told you about their life before they've crossed over that has brought you to tears?
Oh, Mary, you want to go for that first?
I gotta think, man, 'cause there's more than one.
Oh,
Give
well,
me
I'll
give me
tell
a
you.
minute to think on that.
All right, so I'll tell mine first. So when I first learned, I told you I started learning because these little kids that I was collecting from yeah, I have many, many, many times. There you go. Um, and when, um, what do you call it? The f- when I first got the first doll from the thrift store, and I started going there and touching everything because figured out that I had this power that I could feel energy. So I started bringing home all sorts of not haunted, but things from the thrift store that had attachments, whether it be crosses or like one was a metal cross, one was an angel that went on a Christmas tree. It necessarily wasn't always dolls. One was a mirror. So I started, collecting them because I wanted to cross them all in one big, you know, especially with the babies. That's right, Tina. So I wanted to get a few up, whatever you say it that way. But um, the one of them, I brought home this one, and they were like, "She's bad," and I'm like, "But you said she was 12." And I'm like, "Is she 12 years old? Like really 12 years old?" And they're like, "Yeah." I said, "No, 12-year-olds are not bad." I said, "Why do you think she's bad?" And they go, "No, she's bad." And I'm like, "No, well, tell me what happened, you know?" So basically, this 12-year-old, her mother pushed her down the stairs and she passed. And this was only had it had only happened. She had only been passed 4 years at the time when I got her doll from the thrift store, which the doll came from a storage unit that the owner had bought. Because I had asked him, by the way, where'd you get this doll? And he's like, oh, from a storage unit that somebody didn't pay for. So anyway, she tells me that her mother pushed her down the stairs and her mother got away with it. And then, like the next few days after her funeral, put all her stuff, now this kid attached to the doll, put all her stuff in storage, like anything that had to do with the kid, and just like forgot about her. Man, that she was pissed. Talk about like a vengeful spirit. She was so mad. So I'm like, okay, I don't blame her for being mad. And that's why her energy to all the other kids and things look bad. And I'm like, no, but she's not going to do anything to you, right? And they're like, no. I said, okay, it's okay. You need time to get over something like that. That doesn't go away. But it made me so mad. And it was only 4 years that I literally was trying to get the spirits to tell me the last name and the name of her mother so that I could look this bitch up and go over there and push her down the fucking stairs. That's how mad I was at this lady. Like, I just wanted to go
Understandable.
over there and punch her. Like, I was like, if I could just go over, I'm just gonna punch her, And I remember that one took a lot to help that poor baby girl. Yeah, she was pissy. Um, and you know, I just wanted to go over there, and I didn't. I don't know if I could. And at that point, it wasn't like I am now. But if I could have went to the police and got her arrested somehow and been like, you got to look into that kid's murder. And what was I going to do? Tell him a ghost told me? I don't know, maybe, like, fuck it.
The
People
odds
said stranger things.
the odds of them listening to you say that you heard it from the spirit of the girl
I know.
herself.
I could just say I keep having a dream that, and this happened, and I don't know. I could just tell you maybe to look into it, that it wasn't an accident, Maybe you need to reopen the case. Um, that's all I could say. That wouldn't sound as crazy. I guess I keep having this reoccurring dream. I don't understand. I don't know these people. I don't live near there. That's the only thing I could say to them, that maybe they'll be like, okay, well, we'll look into, we'll just look into what happened, the case.
You
But they wouldn't
technically
tell
are
me.
a
And
documented psychic.
I think they, at that time I wasn't, anything. you know, I literally had this baby's word and my feelings, and so I was like, but they wouldn't tell me the last name, and I think that's because um they knew I would do something a little nutty. So yeah, you know. Oh, sounds great,
What do you
Tina.
mean technically documented psychic? What do you mean by
Oh,
that?
her videos that she posts now, like if she was to ever have another occurrence of said instance where a spirit tells her about an unjust death that happened within a time span, because she has these YouTube videos where she is doing the tarot readings and has
Right.
stated vocally over the internet that she has talked to spirits. It's now documented that she is a psychic that has this ability, which then could lead them into opening up more cases. I took paralegal studies for 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Do you
Interesting.
know? Yeah, I agree with that because that's uh, it puts us out there.
Well, yeah,
Basically,
and a
well,
lot of
can't hide no
people,
more.
yeah. And, because of the fact, like I said, that some things are validated, you could be like, well, you could just ask these
Right,
people. Like, I gave them information and it came true or whatever. Um,
right, right,
and like I said, there's not anybody who's 100% at anything.
right.
Because
No,
you get,
we don't get. I mean,
you,
there's stuff that we miss, and I'm like we may not get a name right because when they're telling you something, if their energy is not in balance with ours, per se, like our
frequency, Mary, their
frequency,
frequency
yeah, the frequency
that
is
they
not
talk
there.
on.
Right.
Yeah.
We may not hear it right. Like names was always
Yeah.
a hard thing for me. Like I could sit here and tell you exactly what that spirit looks like, down to clothing, the hair, the whole 9 yards. But names has always been a problem for me. I'm getting better at it actually. But that's always been one thing. But we're never 100%. We don't claim to be 100% right. We get as
Yeah.
close to it as we possibly can, truthfully on it, on any subject we talk about. I mean, or anything we do in the paranormal. Um, that's just the way. I mean, if you want to be taken seriously, that's how you are. You don't fabricate. You don't ask questions ahead of time. You don't. We don't ask people to tell us anything. We tell them, what we feel or what we see or what we know is going on or stuff like that, because that's when you really know when somebody is and they doesn't mean that they're 100% right, but it say they get 80% of it right or 90% of it right or 99% right. I mean, chances are they're spotted. They know what they're doing. So I'm just saying.
I agree with you.
Rant over.
Um,
Um,
I can agree with you if I may touch on this really quick. I agree with you, Mary, and what you're saying, because how you've described uh, what it's like for being able to see, hear, feel, and be able to take down messages while reading tarots, that is within a similarity of a clairvoyant seeing visions. And the only reason I say that is, hold on, I'm losing my train of thought, but I'm trying to maintain it here. Um, the only reason I say that uh, is because, as you mentioned, we're not 100% right at any given point or time. And the reason for that being, if you were to break it down into a psychological matter, the human mind is too predictably unpredictable that any slight shift in a thought pattern or process could change the outcome of the predestined fate that was already set in motion, if
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It's like when you're reading somebody or you're giving somebody a message, you don't want them to tell you anything because it will throw you off. It and then because then say like they throw out, say like in chat they'll throw out a whatever, I don't know, whatever they want to, oh, this might be my uncle, or this, that's my uncle. Before you ever find out that it's really the uncle, it may be your cousin and you just think it's your uncle, or whatever. And I'm just throwing it out there. It's not like it's ever happened. I'm just saying that
Understandable.
people,
It's an example.
right, like an age or what they were wearing. So, we don't want any information ahead of time because
It makes
it
it
throws everything
disingenuous.
off. It makes a suggestion. Uh,
Yep.
am I saying it right? Suggestive. It
It comes across as disingenuous and as if you are leading the person on
right,
into
right. You're like
believing that
you
what
said,
you're saying is what's
right,
true.
right. I don't
It's
want their
all a form of
names.
manipulation at some extent that
Right.
others will use against you to say that you're not real.
There you go. I don't want anything, none whatsoever. I don't want them telling me nothing. I want to tell them. Um, because when they tell you, start telling you stuff, it throws it off. It will throw you off, but it also, like you said, can people come behind it and say, well, they told you this and they told you that. And you just went from that, blah blah blah. And so when nobody tells you anything, they can't say that. You know, they can't say, oh well, I told you this and that's how you got that,
To
or whatever.
basically
So
to to basically describe what you're saying so that way I can understand better what you're describing or what you're painting with the words that you're saying is like basically if anybody tells you anything about the situation that you're describing, it's like them throwing a pebble into a still pond.
right, right, and it ruffles from there. you know, exactly. It waves off from there. So I mean, and with that way we get the story right, and that way that person knows that we're genuine and that we're really trying to help them, and that we are picking up their people that they're talking about, or we are picking up what they're wanting to know, or that person that's getting coming across. Say like I'll take Kim for instance because I'll see her name first. Um, let's say that her uncle's coming through and I start saying somebody in chat, I don't know who it's for yet, but this person's blah 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 blah. This is what they're saying, and they're coming, and then I'll ask the person, who it's for and who they're coming through for, and then they'll, sometimes they tell us, sometimes they don't. So,
Yeah.
and with that, and people can pick up on what we're saying, say, oh well, that's possibly my uncle, or this could be, and then we have to find out who this person's for, but which we don't mind doing that part. Like if we don't know who the person's for, we're
Right.
fine with that.
And sometimes,
But we just don't
yes,
want we don't want major information ahead of time.
Yeah, you're just looking for some way to narrow it down and pinpoint exactly
Right,
who the
right,
person came from. So that way,
right,
then, whatever information you collect from those spirits about that person or said situation is far more
right.
accurate than getting led on by the suggestion of what it could or could not be.
Yeah, the power of suggestion. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't ever want that. Because I basically when I do readings of anybody or if I do card readings, I ask people not to tell me anything ahead of time. Don't give me any information. Let me tell you, and then afterwards, you tell me what you got from what I've told you. And
That's how I approach reading tarot cards as well. Is I will tell them to keep it in their mind, but don't tell
right,
me what it is that they're looking
or
for
if they
in
have a question, they
answers.
write it down and ask me afterwards.
Exactly.
yeah,
Because once you once you're in tune and you're reading a spirit or you're listening to a spirit or you're picking up things about somebody in general, about their life or whatever, and it's not a spirit telling you anything, but it's what you're picking up yourself, about somebody. um, you want to put it all out there without having anything thrown in there, so that way you know for a fact that this is the person that you're hitting on, and they can tell you at the end, say yes, that's blah blah blah, or yes, that did happen in my life, or this happened in my life, or whatever. You know,
right.
I have floored a few people on YouTube. I will say that. I mean, just with stuff I picked up from their life. I pick up stuff from everybody. It's not just one person, and 99% of the time, I know who the person is I'm picking it up from. But I don't put people's lives out there, and I don't try to dwell in people's lives at all, because
Yeah,
I kind of put a block on it, because put like a wall up from it, because you know it gets monotonous. Well, especially when you got a chat of 30 people or 10 people or 5 people, it doesn't matter, and you're picking up something from everybody. It can get crazy,
Well,
and
that's the same thing
after
that happens with anybody who's empathic and overfeels
right,
with their emotions. That's exactly
right,
what happens with them.
right, and
yeah,
when you're empathic and then you got all this other on top of it, like I do, it's it's hard to um, pick up everything. And so there's sometimes that it's so strong when it comes through that I have to say something, or if it's something that a spirit is wanting to tell somebody, I will tell. I'll put it out there, say, hey, this is what I'm picking up. This is the spirit, and this is what they're saying, and go from there and explain what they look like and the whole 9 yards. And then I can get some feedback after that. Um, but like if say I'm reading Kim and she's still alive and it's something in her life that she doesn't want out there, I won't put out personal information if I'm doing a live reading online. I will say, at the end of it, I say, well, hit me up on Messenger because there's more to it. I won't put your life out there, unless they're insistent that I tell them right then. But there's just some stuff that I will not. I refuse to, even if they want to hear it right then, will not put it out there,
right. Well, right,
because
and that's
it can
like
be very
when Mary,
personal.
right, like when Mary's mom came to see me. At first, she just said a few things, and I'm like, Mary, we'll have to continue this after in Messenger. That
Right,
woman had me so like I felt every emotion that Mary's mother was feeling that she was stamping in my kitchen, and I started stamping and yelling at Mary, and I'm like, holy shit, Mary, this isn't me yelling at you, this is her. you
I
know
knew that, and I knew it was my mother because everything Christina was saying, I'm like, yeah, that's my mother. I don't know exactly who this is. You know, I
yeah,
mean,
it
my
was
mother was
literally
very
like,
highly opinionated, and she was the gifted one in my family. On it come from the women's side in my family, and we comes a long line of witches, and but they didn't talk about it. It was never talked about when I was a kid. It didn't come out. My aunts didn't talk about it. Um, but it, like I said, it come from that side of my family. But come to find out, I do believe there is some on my father's side too that I am just recently finding out. So, I mean, I may got double whammy. So I'm just saying. But
yeah,
Sounds it.
my dad was raised Southern Baptist, so I was raised Southern Baptist. Well, it just yeah, he wasn't talked about. He didn't bring it up.
Yeah, I
she was
think
persistent. Yeah, Kim.
Persistent
I
wasn't the word for it, Kim.
she
No,
was aggressive.
she literally, she was so mad that all her energy like came into me and I threw it at Mary. It was so weird. Like I never had that happen before.
Well,
Or really
that's
again.
that's what she wanted to do, and
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, because she couldn't yell at you herself because you couldn't hear her. So
right,
she made
and
sure.
do you find that that's something to ask you, Tamara? Do you find that you can't pick up your immediate family, like you can't hear them or talk to them, or most people that are in the paranormal, like we are, that it is gifted, we can't communicate with our own family members that are close to us. I
Um,
I can't communicate with them. I just like I
well,
may feel their energy, but I can't. I don't hear them.
there was something that my father and my grandmother had told me a very long, long time ago that stuck with me forever and always, I guess. Um, my father cryptically told me before he died in '07 that by the time I figured out what I needed to in life, he would have already faded so much to the point that I would never be able to hear him again.
I wonder, I don't know. I don't feel like that's true because like there's some spirits. I've had spirits come from like the early 1800s and talk to me literally, or cross
Right.
over that weren't crossed over yet. And I was able to hear them. Now my father um died, I don't know, 25 years ago. I had never heard him, but it's because I didn't start really doing this until after my mother passed, and even it took me a little while after she passed to really get. So, and she passed in 2012. So he passed in um 1998. She passed in 2012, and um I've heard her once, her actual voice. I heard her on the spirit box a few times, but then I heard her actual voice in my kitchen one time, asked me for coffee. But that was only once. My daughter knows that she talks to to my grandson because he knows who she is, and he shouldn't because he's 3 and she died, like I said, in 2012. So um
He died in
yeah, so
2012. Not he.
no, yeah, she died in 2012, so he, my grandson, shouldn't know anything about her. because, you know, but he was talking to somebody in his bed and called her Nana. And the only person we ever called Nana was my mother. And so my daughter thought it was strange. So what she did was she took out all the pictures of the dead grandmas, the grandmas who passed, and aunts and great aunts and everybody she could find from her husband's side and her side that passed. And she started showing the kid pictures, and the kid wasn't interested until she got to my mother. And then he was like, ah, Nana. And he started like petting the picture. And my daughter was like, okay. She goes, well, Grandma, Nana's visiting him. I go, oh, it figures she loved kids.
That's
Well, it
cute.
goes like, like my son after my mother passed, and he knew her, but he's just talking to her. I hear him in the living room talking up a storm. I'm like, who is he talking to? I'm thinking he's opened the door and let somebody in the house, because I was back in the kitchen. It was like a shotgun house, and I so I went to go in there to see who he's talking to, and I go in there and there's nobody in there. I said, Patrick, who are you talking to? He said, I'm talking to Grandma. I said, Grandma? He said, yeah, she's sitting on the TV. I said, what do you mean she's sitting on the TV? He said, she's sitting on the TV. He said, don't you see her? And I said, so Grandma come to visit? He said, yeah. He said, she said she got to go now, though, and that she loved us. And if she'd come to see him, and he's just talking up a storm to her like he done when she was living, He was it wasn't too long after she passed away. It was like, I don't know, like, I want to say 3 or 4 months after she passed away. This happened. And it wasn't a long time. So she'd come to see, her little grandson that she adored. And my other son was born too, but he was 14 months old when she passed away. So she didn't get to spend as much time with him as she did Patrick. So Patrick knew exactly
Yeah.
who he was talking to. Hey, she
Yeah.
done his grandma,
Well, well, I guess that makes sense because I just sat here and I had a recollection of when my father passed away after I heard that stuff or after he had told me those things. I had dreams about him, but every time I had a dream about him, it was always in a public place. And it was like he had moved on, found a better life. And every time I would confront him in said public place within my reoccurring dreams of him, I would look at him and go, "You're dead." And he'd go, "I'm not dead. I'm just in hiding, kiddo."
Yeah. Well, yeah. And because you know what, because funny enough, like I said, I had never really talked to my father because it was so long. And so, but my daughter did. So my daughter was supposed to be born on a Friday. She was late. I was over my due date, and I was supposed to be induced on the Monday because she was due Friday. I was supposed to be induced on the Monday, and my father passed away on Sunday, the day before I was supposed to be induced. So of course I didn't go to get induced because I had to bury my father. So and then she was born the next Friday, naturally. Because we buried him, I guess, on Wednesday, or no, we buried him on Thursday because right after the funeral, I went home and we had like a luncheon at the house. And I thought my water broke, but it wasn't. It was my mucus plug. Anyway, I went to the hospital and they were like, no, we'll probably see you over the weekend. But then the next day, Friday, she was born. So he, my father never saw her, right? And obviously she never saw him because she was born a few days after we buried him. So when she was 2, we were going through the family photo album and she was looking at the photos and she's like, oh, I know him. And I'm like, no, honey, that's my father. He passed away before you were born. And she's like, no, he used to sing. Um, he used to sing to me over my crib when I was a baby. Now she was only 2, so she was still a baby, but my daughter had some crazy speech patterns. She was able to talk from 9 months old. So, but she could say full sentences at 1.5, and you could totally understand her. Like she was
Did
like
you
some
know?
miracle.
Did you know that statistically, children have more of an open third eye than most normal adults
Oh yeah,
do,
because they're
which
innocent.
makes
I mean, you're right.
yeah,
Children
it
can
makes it
see. Yeah.
easier for them to see the spirits.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah, and
Everybody's
that's what I'm
born
saying.
with abilities. It's just if they choose to use them or not use them. I mean,
Oh yeah,
Well,
it's
and
like
then
a cutoff
society gets
switch.
in the way. Yeah, society gets in the way and tells you it's crazy or you're crazy or
right.
whatever. They tried my ex-boyfriend, before I was dating Danny, I was dating a guy who could see auras with his eyes. Everybody looked like when he was younger, he used to draw pictures with like what looked like fire around people, but it was always different colors. It wasn't fire color. And people used to tell him, why you draw, fire around everybody. He's like, it's not fire, it's color. He goes, that's what people look like. And everybody thought he was like crazy. And so they took him at first to the therapist, and the therapist was like, I don't know. And then, he seems fine. He doesn't have any problem. I don't know. He sees people differently. Maybe he has a eye problem. Anyway, his aunt was like, no, no, I'm taking him to the shaman. And she took him to the local shaman. And yeah, he's like, no, he sees auras. And he was able to carry that with him throughout his whole life. He could tell if the person was living or dead, depending on their aura. So he could see spirits because he could see their auras, not but inside the aura, instead of being like a person, it was like a just like a silhouette of something. Which how he could tell he was condolences, Kim. That's how he could tell, that if they were deceased or not. But yeah, he could see auras. So, but right away they wanted to send him to the funny farm, because like that's not normal, right? So when society puts that on you, like that's not normal, um, you tend to shut it off. He didn't, but most people do. However, because of all this stigmatism around it, he could see him still, but he never told anybody. He didn't want to deal with spirits. When I got really into it, he was kind of pissy, like, um, because he didn't want to be bothered. Um, he hated that I brought the haunted items into the house. He was like, you got to leave those somewhere else. So they were in my office in the front room. And every time he would pass, he's like, that lamp always looks at me. But
Please don't
yeah,
tell
but
me he had a jealous attachment to one of the fucking items because he was like when I say a jealous attachment, I mean like the type of attachment of he felt intimidated by this item so much that he got jealous every time you were around it.
no, I mean, it was a little girl. She was like 6, died in a car accident in the 1920s. So it wasn't like I didn't have any males. It was all kids. But the lamp
Who
itself, um, but I had a lot at the time, so it wasn't like she was any different than all the other kids. Just so happened that he felt like some kind of way that that lamp would look at him. You know,
well, I can imagine she
out of
was
all
picking
the
up some on bad shit. And by jealousy, it's not restricted to just male and female attachments. I have noted through many stories over my time that there have been many people that get jealous over children for no fucking reason.
well, yeah, that could be true. I mean, necessarily, I think that he thought I spent too much time doing paranormal, but most of my family does, and why we're not together anymore, because I had a different path that I was taking in my life, and he no longer fit in it. Um, so, you know, It's just that, you know. But I changed my way of thinking. I went through a spiritual awakening. I understood that there was more to life. So, and I wanted to do something about it. And he didn't want to be bothered with the spirits. Like, he didn't want to talk to them. He didn't want to see them. He didn't want to know about anything. Like, he didn't want to go, um, when I took him, because I'm like, come with me. I want to go see this place and walk around and do like ghost hunting for the channel. And I like to go out and I like to go and spend all day because why not, And then I have enough footage and I can make a few videos, right? And like he would get annoyed and he would be cursing at me like, let's go. It's been like 5 hours. Who cares? Where are you going? Like where are we rushing off to? Nowhere. To go home and do what?
Okay,
Like it would piss
okay.
me off.
So from what my mind is conjuring up when you're describing the situation, I
Yeah.
empathize with him because I went through a similar situation when I was younger after I got terrified and shut everything off. Which I found out the very hard way that is a massive fucking no-no. Um but in doing so you try to avoid it, and avoiding it to the point of turning to damn near anything other than what is spiritually happening. And from experiences, and I'm not saying that this is what he did, but this is just from my
Right.
own experience and what I have seen, uh it would not shock me or surprise me if the man turned to a harsh Christian religious um, devotion, because I find that many people who want to avoid anything that is unknown to them instantaneously turn to a faith in order to put their foothold in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, he's not religious. He just wants to he's lazy. The best way I could describe him is he's lazy. He doesn't care what's going on with the spirits or with the how are you, Kyle? With the spirits or with it. He wants to play his video game, go to work, eat, and chill out and couldn't care less about like, anything. He's lazy. But with the spirits, he's like, no, I don't like them. Like I think he might have had a bad experience, of course, and that might have shut him off to
I'll be
the
right back.
okay, to the
Take your
whole
time,
thing.
Mary.
But he didn't express that to me. I'm glad you're well, Kyle. Um so yeah, anyway, we like I said, we had different paths to take. And my path was to help the spirits, and he wasn't um and I had to learn that for myself to do that. First of all, like, I had to learn for myself to do that, and then I had to um hone in on my skills myself, like he couldn't help me with that anyway. And they say that when you're going through like a big spiritual awakening, um if someone else isn't going through it at the same time, they can't understand you. So you will like end up like dumping people that no longer are aligned with your path because your path has changed. Um so
Well, that's
we
what
just
I
had
was
different paths.
referencing.
Yeah,
That's what I was referencing when I was saying that the human mind is so predictably unpredictable that even clairvoyance can't have an accurate reading on anything because
right,
of how unpredictable somebody could be given the time span and if there's any growth process.
you're right. Well, and that's why, like, a lot of people who will come into my chat will be like, tell me the when I'm gonna meet, the love of my life or whatever, or what's gonna happen with this guy. I go, okay, I can only tell you that the spirits say this is about the time frame, and that's only if A, B, and C happens. And I don't even know what A, B, and C is. Um, oh yeah, Kyle, I'll have to go look at it. I didn't even know what A, B, and C is because the spirits didn't tell me, but they're like, everything has to line up. And because people have free will, it could change at any moment. Like, I could only tell you, it's nothing is kind of, and by people having free will, things change, and that's how I realized that nothing's really written in stone, because every action causes a reaction, right? So that's why sometimes your information is not always 100% on with the spirits either, because they can only say,
Here,
yeah, well, this is gonna happen, but it could potentially take longer, or you know, happen with a different person, because maybe right before you meet the love of your life, he gets hit by a car and he dies. Well, then they have to switch it up,
yeah.
like, and
So,
go for the second choice, So that's why I
s-
always tell people, so it's not an exact science, because of the fact that um something may happen that will throw that off course. So don't they can tell you what they think, but it might not always be exact, because someone will change their mind.
okay. Forgive me if you are not a nerd, Christina, but I'm going to go full on comic book nerd right now. So basically
Okay.
what you're saying is that if we ever were to sit here and take Marvel and their Loki series that they have right now, basically with any timeline there's always a smaller branch off. So even if we were to give you this one branch off and tell you it depict or verbatim what you're depicting, then all of a sudden somebody's actions within the time frame, it's basically like the butterfly effect,
Yes,
only
well,
not
kind of
as
like that.
harsh.
Not as harsh, because basically, from what I understand from the spirits, and this is just what I understand, and like I said, it could go either way sometimes, because you can only hear what you hear. But from what I understand is, like, okay, I'm walking down the street. I'm supposed to go one way, and I'm supposed to bump into someone and meet this person, and they're going to change my life, whether it be with a job offer or whatever.
But all of a sudden
I
I
go to
feel something
I go to
horrible.
go this way, and then I go, "Oh, look. There's somebody has some free bags of stuff out," cuz I'm a garbage picker. And I go to the free bags, and I'm looking through there, and that guy passes, doesn't see me cuz my back is turned looking in the freaking free bag of shit, and we don't meet. Now, that's my fault, because my ass was, or
Decided
whatever.
to change the timeline by looking
I
through the
changed,
garbage.
yeah, I changed the course because I decided, oh, I'm not going to go down this block. I'm going to go down this block because they have free garbage out. So I fucked everything up. So because of that, they can't always tell you exact. I mean, maybe then they'll make another way for you guys to meet. But now the timeline's off, because now it has to be reset up, right? For you to meet this person if it's your destiny. So I
Yeah, it's
try to
like your
tell people, you
dominoes getting
can't.
knocked over just before everything was ready for it to be set to
Right,
be knocked over.
right. So that's from what I understand. So that's it happens. So sometimes it takes longer, and it doesn't exactly happen the way they say, because people have free will and shit happens, you know. So um I try to tell people, like, I'm telling you this, unless it's just like a message, like, you know, mm, of something that the spirits are definitely sure of, like if they have a friend who's really a narcissist, let's say, and they don't know it yet, that friend's definitely going to go full out narc on them eventually. So the spirits guides are sure of that. So they'll be like, this friend is going to do something shady and whatever. They're more than sure whether it happens today or tomorrow. They're going to tell you this friend is shady. Um, but with things like meeting the love of your life, it could happen tomorrow if you walk the right way, or it could happen next month because now we have to reset it up because you walked the wrong fucking way. You know.
Your
So
paranoia just had to take over at this one instance and fuck everything out the water.
yeah,
Bitch, do you know how
yeah,
long we got these ducks in a row?
yeah, and that's it. Like that's why I say destiny is not written, because your ass could go looking for free stuff in the garbage
Well, that's
and
the
miss your
other
destiny.
thing. That's the other thing. Everybody gets it confused. It's not really your fate that you can change. It's the destiny of which you get to said fate that you can change.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because some things are written like there's soul contracts, so there's things you have to learn, there's things you have to do. So some things are written, and if you don't do them this time, it's all right. You do it the next life. They don't give a fuck. It's whatever. Um, but there's no
I'm back.
oh well, welcome back. Like, oh well,
Welcome back.
your death is already written. It's not. Your death is not written. You know how I know? Because if I do something different, if I was supposed to get hit by a car tomorrow and I don't fucking leave the house tomorrow, the car's not coming through my house all the way through, three doors, through a hallway. It's not happening. Through a brick house. It's not. I'm not getting hit by a car. I'm sitting in my kitchen.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so if
I
I
have
decide
a
not to go out tomorrow, it's not gonna happen tomorrow. You understand? So it's not written, and it's not like final jeopardy, because I didn't go outside tomorrow. That changed the guy who hit me. It changed all these things, so that it changed my whole destiny. So it's not like I don't believe in that. Well, then the next day you're going to get hit by a car. No, because now I already changed everything. So that's how I feel anyway.
Some people believe their days are numbered, not how they die, but I mean how long they live.
I guess
But I
I'm
think you can
really
change that too.
I guess
I
I'm
think
really a
so.
messed up individual. Because I have many thoughts and I deep think a lot about the supernatural paranormal stuff. And one of my thoughts is that death is inevitable. It is going to happen. There is
Yeah,
no given time when, where, how, if it'll be painful, if it'll be painless. It's just it's going to happen. And so that in it turn makes it its own separate entity. But within that knowledge, we do have the ability to prolong the inevitable by changing the course of our fucking life with each action and idea, thought, or response we give to each and any situation. Does that make
Well, That
sense?
that that's kind of what I was saying. If you alter something, your path changes, and that's it. Because
Okay.
right.
each action has a reaction. So if you do something different, you change it. Now, they told me nobody's immortal, so definitely everybody's dying. At some point, um, you're dying, right? But you're technically not dying. Your body's dying, and your soul's going wherever it's
I
meant to
mean,
go.
think about it, that's where your free will comes in at because for free will, you can go this way, you can go that way,
Yeah.
and that alters your life. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
just
let me gather my thoughts here really quick. I
Yeah.
had a second part of this. Let's see. Where was I going with the first part?
um, she's interviewing us now.
That's all
She's
right.
fine. I don't care.
Hey,
No, it's
I mean,
interesting.
this is supposed to be, like, I,
Oh
I,
yeah, I
I get
know.
it. It's
Well,
weird, but I feel like this is more engaging. It's a way
Oh yeah,
for the people in chat to obtain knowledge through just eavesdropping on a conversation by vicariously living through the stories. It's
right,
all a
there you
form
go.
of learning.
right.
Um,
It is.
I'm
I
glad you
totally
are. I'm
lost
not.
track.
I'm not complaining. I'm glad.
I
Yeah.
totally lost track of the conversation. I feel that I may be a little
I'm
too
sorry.
up in the elevations. um, okay, so instead, how about this? We move on to another question that I have sitting here. Um,
Uh-huh.
okay, for both of you, either one can choose to go first or not. Since Mary was needing time to think about the question that I had asked previously and couldn't come up with an answer, how about this one? Are you able to describe how it feels when your energy is draining out of you during any of your readings or when you come into contact with a spirit? For example, whenever I feel that I've come in contact with anything of the supernatural, my heart starts feeling as if there's either this black energy that's being pulled or siphoned from the center of it out of my body and into the air and universe around me. But I never get the feeling of um how most would describe it as if their entire blood rushed to their feet and fell out from the bottom of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I normally. Let me see if,
Right,
when I'm
Kim.
talking to spirit, usually my energy level goes up. Um, to some point, and then when it drops, it drops. Um, all right, so you want to know how I feel about how what it feels like?
Yes, like what you
The
personally
feeling you
are
get
experiencing.
when you're dropping, at the moment it's dropping, what does it feel like to you?
Mm,
I guess the
it feels
easiest way to
like
put it would be is when the connection is severed.
it almost feels like the life is draining. I mean, like how can I explain it? I get really tired. Um, Sometimes I can get lethargic. Um, it's almost like I can see it going. You know what I mean? It's like if
Does
they're
your
touching
sight
me.
happen to get like that black tunnel vision, like you feel like you're about to pass out, or
I don't feel like I'm about to pass out. No. Um, I kind of have. I just shut it all down.
Yeah.
When I start feeling tired, I will throw this wall up that I envision. I and what I do when I put a wall up. When I say I'm putting my wall up, it's like or my bubble as I call it. Um, it's like metal. It's like goes in different levels, and it starts going click, click, click as it goes up, and it closes at the top, and it like covers me, and I block everything out, so it can't take no more energy from me, and can't drain me no more, and can't. It just kind of shuts it all down. Um,
so would it be the equivalent of numbing out?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Like I don't get numb as feeling numb, but I do like get kind of like I'll just sit here and stare at the TV, or I don't pick up anything. I don't pick my phone up, play on anything. I don't play games. I don't do none of that for a little while. It takes me a while to be coherent. I'll put it like that.
If it makes help, or if it helps you with the explanation, or if this happens to make any sense to you, how I envision it when I say going numb is like, you're not shutting off yourself or detaching from a reality. It's more like you're allowing yourself to rest in limbo by like
There you
flicking
go.
off a light switch.
Right, right. And I do that. I'll just put. It's like you watch these shows where they talk about the like Vampire Diaries. They say that they can like flipping a switch from their humanity to not humanity. Um,
Yes, it's the same theory when thinking about a sociopath. It's being able to tap into it like a light switch, where they could
right.
pretend to be this most kind, caring, compassionate person, but really it is just another form of masking. Did that make sense?
Um, do I feel like it's masking something? A mask? Yeah, it didn't make sense to me. Uh, Christine, try to explain that to me better
I'm
in your
sorry.
version.
um, I don't know. I okay. I'm gonna try to answer her question. From my experience, I don't shut down. Like Mary will even tell me sometimes, your energy is draining. She knows it. I don't feel it at all. Um,
Right,
and I'm going with what Kim says too, because each spirit interacts with me different. If they're just
right.
talking to me, and I'm hearing them, I say in my ear, but like I'm hearing through my ear to I'm processing it in my head.
Each
It
one
takes
drains
way less
differently too.
energy. It takes way less energy for me than if they start like projecting, like talking to me telepathic and showing me a whole story in my head and shit. That takes way more energy than them talking to me.
Yep,
Um,
it does.
I don't ever shut myself off fully to the spirits, because I feel that if they need help, I need to hear them. Or, like I had told Kim the other day, if there's an emergency and they need me, I need to hear them. The only thing I shut myself off from are negative energies or the voice part. And they know how to get through that, like by like showing me something in my spirit guide. If I have the voice part off, and they really wanna get to me because they know I'm open, they would just show me a picture in my head, like a word, "help," or something, and then I would know they need something. But I try never ever to shut myself off, and I've never had felt where I've had such a big energy drain. I mean, after I do the readings, I do my crossover, I'm tired, I go to sleep. Um, but it just feels like I'm exhausted, like I ran a marathon, and that's how it feels for me.
Okay. So, Mary, as in to simplify what I was trying to explain when we were talking about humanities, and the association that I was trying to make with sociopathic tendencies and today's society, basically all I was trying to say was they're able to tap in and tap out, meaning they could enter into a state of numbness that still allows them to be present within the current time frames and environment and such, and then still be disconnected but reconnect whenever they want.
I don't let them. I don't. No,
No.
Um, I set boundaries,
Okay.
and they don't cross in boundaries. Like if I don't want to be disturbed that day, or I'm not feel take for example, if I'm not feeling well that day,
Mhm.
uh, my spirit guides will not let anybody bother me.
Oh, okay, okay.
Literally.
So it's completely separate from what I was trying to associate it with. That's where I was getting confused. That's my bad. I'm sorry for the confusion on that.
Oh, that's
Right.
okay. Yeah. So yeah, you can, and you can ask your guides. Like, I remember what, I don't get migraines often. Yeah, once every 2 years, usually 3 years, maybe 4 years. I get and I hate headaches of any sort. But when it's a migraine, it's like holy shit. So, um, one day after, it was right after my Wednesday crossover, I started getting this massive headache, and it turned into a full blown, migraine. And so I said to the spirits, guys, is it possible that you guys can keep each other company and just tell the spirits who want to cross that we'll probably do it Friday or Saturday as soon as my headache goes away, because I can't do anything. I can't concentrate when I have this headache like this, and I can't talk to anybody. Like my head was so bad. And most of the time I laid down for most of the time. But anyway, for 2 days I heard, not even my ear didn't tingle, nothing. For 2 days. It was like I have 100 spirits here at any given time. It was like there was nothing here. And then as soon as I was
Spirits
feeling
are
better, I'm like, okay,
respectful. I mean, for
yeah.
the
And
most
as soon
part,
as I was
spirits are
feeling
very
better,
respectful.
yeah, as soon as I was feeling better, I'm like, okay, guys, I'm feeling better. Thank you so much. Like I thanked them for not bombarding me. I did my crossover like normal and everything, and it's fine. They will, yeah, your spirit guides will protect you against that kind of stuff, like if they know what's going on, and that's why I always tell them. you know.
Okay, I understand a little bit better. Thank you for explaining that to me.
I mean, with me and Christina, our spirit guide, our main one is an elemental,
Well,
and they're
your
related.
main one is an
So,
elemental.
right,
My elemental's the protector of the kids and what's going on. I wouldn't
right,
say he's my main guide. I would say like he's the protector. I'd say like, I don't know. I guess the bloodline guides who've been with me forever are the guides
right,
that tell like Sarah. Like Sarah would be considered my main guide, I guess, because that's who I Sarah and Billy is who I talk to all the time, right? Like so the kiddos, they're my spirit guides, right? My
right,
bloodline guides are kind of like the elders. So if they don't know, if Sarah doesn't know the answer to give me, she'll ask them. Um, and like then I have the wolves, right? So like, and then if I need like help with to help somebody else, for somebody to go, like Jacoby would go like somewhere or something, if somebody needed help, like I asked them, hey, are you able to go and see what's going on over there to help this person? um like, yeah, I have so many guides that I can't say that there's like a main one, you know,
right.
because each one has a
Well, I
different
got quite a
job.
few
So I
too.
can't even say, well, what's the main guide? I don't know, because they all have a different job, and this all works together in a way that it's like it's a joint group effort to get done what has to be done by,
Right, but
like,
he's the
I
one
don't
that
know how to
everybody
say.
goes to ask questions. All my guides do. All my spirit guides go to him if they need to ask him something, or if they need to know something.
Right, right,
They go to him.
So
right.
basically, you're saying that every guide that you have is the head of each facet that they are pertaining to.
Right, because like I said, like each, like anything else, each one like has a job, right? Like, and everybody has their job like to do.
Mhm.
So my job to cross over the spirits is to make them feel comfortable and to open that gate to the other side, and it's open my side of the gate so that my spirit guides can then knock on the other door and somebody on the other side can open it, right? And that's how I look at it. So everybody has their job and to do. The protector make sure, the kids and the spirits are safe, that nothing bad comes into my yard or comes near us. And then but then I have the wolves here that do the same thing to make sure that when I leave the house, because the protector usually stays here and protects children and all that, when I leave the house, my wolves come with me and my spirit guides, so they
Right.
protect me when I'm out. Like, so everybody has, um you know
I understand it
it's like
better
just a
now.
job, that works, because everybody has a job, and it's a group effort. I don't know
It's
what
like a
else to
Right.
say
mafia.
about it.
I've got the perfect description. It's basically what I keep screaming I want. It's a mafia styled mentality family where you've got the right hand, the left hand, the lower workers, the enforcers, the grunts, and whatever else. But basically, because they are the head of who everyone goes to ask questions about, they are the head of each facet. They are the head of each
Yeah,
sector of
Yeah.
it.
right, right.
I don't know why I'm creative referencing things. I just it helps me understand.
Right.
I suppose is the best way to
Well,
express
yeah.
it.
Well, yeah, and like I said, depending on what you do in the spirit world is what kind of guides you have, and what and who or what which one would be, the head. I don't consider anybody the head here. We're all equals, and well, I'm
Well,
not
I don't.
equal to them.
I
They're
put
all
him
kind of
as the head
equal in the
because
way
he's the
that
one that
they.
everybody goes to.
Yeah, but like I said, that because they all work together, it just works. So I don't
Right.
consider anybody like the head. I don't know. Like, I don't
It's
think
a
there's a head
family.
honcho. It's a family, right? And everybody has their jobs to do in the family. It's
So
Yeah.
like
you
when
understand
yeah,
it
when you
better
have
now.
a really large family and your mom writes on the or your mom or your dad or somebody writes a chore list on the fridge, and everybody just follows what's on written on the fridge.
I don't know what it is for me, but as I usually describe it whenever talking to my husband, is that I would like a set group of individuals that all have their own important roles within my life, and that the reason I say it or express it in a mafia style mentality is because whether they are spirit guides, um, just entities that chose to become a companion, or uh, anything of similar situations within that aspect, is that uh, hold on, I'm losing train of thought trying to get it back. I am so sorry for this happening. Um, I say it that way because they do a lot of shadow work behind the scenes that they help you with that you don't even know that they're helping you with. So I kind of reference it as I'm the mama of the family. Nobody tells mama nothing because mama is alibi.
Oh, I guess, like, funny you say that, because like sometimes, like, the kiddo spirits, like, at first, because I took that year off, when I came back I was calling Sarah totally different name, because I don't know why my mind went to the other one, right? And I just thought, okay, yeah. And I didn't really go back. And then one day it just snapped in my head, like, that I was called. I'm like, why the hell did you let me call you this name all this time? And she's like, I don't know. And then I asked Danny, I'm like, why the hell would she let me call? Like, why didn't she just correct me? And he's like, well, because think of it this way. She's from a time where you never tell the elders that they're wrong. So she didn't want to tell you you were wrong. I'm like, no, it wasn't. I was wrong. That I just was confused. There's a difference, you know.
Back in
So I
those
told her
time
no.
frames, you never correct your elders. You were going to end up getting
Yes,
your ass beat by a parent when you go back home.
right. So I was like, no, don't do that. If of course, I'm like, no, no. If I'm wrong, just tell me, like, you're mistaken. You don't have to tell me. I think you're mistaken, and then I'll think about it, and then I'll know. Like, why I have to take a year to figure out that I'm calling you the wrong fucking name, you know? But
Oh my god, this kind of makes me have a funny thought. What if we're culture shocking fucking spirits every time they come in contact with us and we're like, "No, if I'm fucking up, tell me, damn it. I want to
yeah,
learn." And they're just like, "Oh my fucking god, a mortal
yeah,
that
yeah,
wants to learn."
yeah. Well, that's what it is, because then I feel like if um and I tell them all the time, like, if you don't know, just say no, you don't know. Or if you can't tell me, just say no, you can't know that. It's fine. I don't have a problem, but don't lie, because then I feel like I don't like that. Then I feel like I'm not getting the full picture, and then like I feel like I'm here trying to help you guys, and then you're lying to me, then like I don't like that. So, I tell them, as long as you just tell me I don't know, I'm not sure. You're not supposed to know that, and I'm totally cool with that. Like, because it's not a lie, it's just I don't know. Um, or you're not supposed to know, or that's not to know yet, or whatever. And
Or
it's
we
totally
can't tell
fine. But
you it's against the rules or whatever.
yeah, whatever. But don't lie and say yes or no, and that's not the case, because I don't want to give people the wrong information. If somebody asks me something and then I'm giving them the wrong information because you didn't want to tell me, when you could have just said I don't fucking know, and I would have told them they don't fucking know. And that's it. We don't have to know everything. It's okay, you know.
I agree with you. Ladies, I have enjoyed this night talking with you guys about all of this
Yeah.
paranormal stuff. May I request to take my leave? Not to be rude, but I am getting
Oh no,
hungry
it's
and
three
I've cooked
hours.
Oh,
You
you're not
dinner.
gotta.
being rude at all. I'm sitting here eating now, so yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
greatly appreciate you guys for letting me come on here and for us having this conversation, and I hope my questions and my responses were not too forward or abrasive.
Well, let
Yes.
me ask you this: do you feel like you know us better now?
Um,
Have we helped you in any way?
you have, to an extent, given me a base understanding for far more than what I had before known. But there are still a lot of aspects that I don't understand, but I also don't feel that asking you would be adequate in leading to an answer that wouldn't end up with me repeating the same question in a different format, which would then end up leading you into believing that I'm just looking for an answer that you're not giving me. So it would just be easier to bypass all of that.
Okay.
Mm, so
Well, if
we
there's
helped
ever
her in
any
some.
time you want to, ask
Yeah.
something, ask.
Right. You have my messenger, and if you need to get married, just let me know. I'll give you her messenger. Um and
It's under
yeah,
Mary
and
Neal,
and yeah, and you can ask,
Neale. Uh,
Christina, go ahead and just shoot me Mary's messenger over my messenger. Um, Again, I really appreciate the two of you letting me come on here. I hope I was fairly entertaining.
I
Yes.
didn't
But
know you was coming until she told me, and I thought, oh, that's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a bit of a surprise pop up. I am really still just trying to find my way in life, and I need to get a foothold somewhere, and I am grateful and appreciative that Christina and you allowed me to come on this live stream tonight and
You're
just
welcome.
talk about the
Anytime.
paranormal.
Well,
Oh,
anytime
you're
you want to
Um,
welcome.
come
And
on and talk about paranormal, we're more than happy to have you up.
yeah,
that
anytime you want to come up again.
that sounds great. Give me some time to think of some new questions, because I will have to rewatch this whole video just to make sure that I asked as many questions as possible, but also to cringe at uh, how just I'm cringy. I get it. I'm cringy, and I don't know what it is, but hearing myself over camera, I cringe, and I don't know how to fix that.
Boomer does that too. Boomer's like, I hate hearing myself. So he won't watch anything over if he's in it.
I empathize with him greatly. I wish I could not do that, but unfortunately, I would need to do that in order to make sure I don't repeat the same questions.
Yeah.
Well, it don't have to be a
Well,
question. I mean, you can ask whatever you want to ask. I don't care. But I'm saying is,
mhm.
you can come up just to discuss whatever we're discussing on. It don't have to be a
Oh yeah,
question,
yeah. If you want to just come when we're having
like an
a
interview.
panel talking about paranormal, you're welcome.
Awesome. I will actually, sorry, speech impediment. Hold on. I will absolutely take it into consideration, and I appreciate the offer that you have extended to me.
You're welcome.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us. And everybody in chat, thank you so much for joining us and chatting amongst these yourselves and hanging out and listening to our conversation. Mary, thank you for joining
We highly
us.
appreciate it.
Mar-
Oh, you're welcome.
Before
yeah,
I
and
hop off here, thank you everyone in chat for the late birthday wishes. I greatly appreciate it, and it made me feel very happy
Oh,
to know
happy
that
late
there were
birthday.
people that cared about me enough.
Well,
yeah, and I'm
here.
sorry we didn't know about your birthday.
Oh,
Yeah.
Um,
don't even blame yourselves. I don't tell a lot of people because honestly, I feel like my birthday is nothing more than a hell week for me. It's just my emotions fluctuate so horribly during this time of my life. And that's just because I have a deep seated self loathing. I'm still working on it.
there. Um,
But
yeah, check
Gotta
out
find some
Tired
self love.
typed in the chat. So I think Tired's gonna maybe start going live. So definitely just subscribe to her while she's in here. So in case she does start going live and doing stuff on her channel, you could see what she's
um,
up to.
to be clear about what I'm thinking about with my channel is I plan on to keep to the lives with you guys right now. I will also be doing video game reviews on PCs, kind of similar to the old school styled gaming platform reviewers. I also plan to have a political podcast with Reverend Potty Mouth because we discuss a lot of politics during the day and we try to actively ask each other questions. And I am a person who is tired of the hypocrisy, the double standards, the it is okay for me, but not okay for the mentality that a lot of the world happens to have at this current stage in our life.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you're
And
gonna do all that on your channel?
yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of
Oh,
different facets. I'm basically creating my own TV station without having a TV station.
yeah, good for you. Sounds great. So definitely, like I said, check out. She typed in the chat. Type in the chat one more time before you go to say goodbye, everybody, or something. So
Yellow.
I put
everybody's
stuff
blue.
earlier.
Yeah, everybody's blue. There you go. So they're able to click on you and subscribe. So when you start doing all this fun stuff, it sounds like there'll be something for everybody that they can grab you. Um, So thanks everybody for joining us. I'll put on the outro and we'll go. Mary, I have something to talk to you about, so I'm going to get you a messenger right after this.
All right, give me time to go to the
And
bathroom.
Have a beautiful
oh
night,
yeah, yeah, go.
everybody. Sweet dreams,
Night,
and may
everybody.
you all be blessed.
Yes, good night everyone. And I will put on the outro and we'll be gone.